Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm. We're doing a weird showtime this week. Sly's gotta go someplace for the next several days, so we're making sure that we bring you some entertainment. And entertainment's an interesting word because obviously there's been a lot of talk about the new Alliance raids, and I figured it'd be fun to bring on some boomers like myself, who maybe have some extensive experience with the old days of the game, to give you an idea of what to expect and what we're hoping for, speculation, all that fun stuff. So it's a Final Fantasy 11 invading Final Fantasy 14 show. We're just knocking the V off at the end and just talking about that for the most part. I'm one of your hosts, Mrhappy. Of course, joining me is Sly, who has played and streamed a bunch of 11, so he's not coming into this blind. How you doing, Sly?
Yeah, I'm the zoomer in this category.
I actually think I might be, because I've played through all the most recent stuff. Like, you've started playing it later, so you don't have the memories. But I also know everything about, like, the current version as well.
Yeah.
I'm boomed and zoomed. Wow. Like a goblin. Yeah. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those shows.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And we had to bring on some other. I couldn't be the only 11 boomer here, so we brought on a couple of others. First, we have Todd joining us. Llama Todd, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, thanks for joining. And everyone will see it in a second, but he does have his Chrono Trigger shirt on.
I do.
He went retro. He went a little more retro.
A little bit.
Yeah. Just, but getting in the boomer view, I suppose.
Exactly.
And then joining us from apparently the throne room with the Shadow Lord in it is Fusion.
Oh, nice.
Who you may know. Etherite Radio, Gamer Escape, been a longtime member of both the 11 and 14 communities.
So old.
So much so that he thought to do that as his background. Let's just put it that the fact that he thought to do that just tells you all that you need to know. He's like, I know exactly.
And this is OG throne room though. This
Yes.
isn't the throne room we're getting. We'll get into that, I'm sure, but that's totally different throne rooms.
Yes, they are
decorated.
Yeah, and I have some theories about that. I have a lot of theories about the raid. We've gotten very little, but I think we've also gotten a great deal.
We've got just enough, I think, to start piecing it together.
There's a few keywords that we have.
Yep.
But it's good to have you guys both on. I knew I wasn't sure if I should wait to see if there were any interviews that came out of Tokyo Game Show and then do a news show this week and then save the 11 show. So I kind of waited like a full week to see if there were any, and there haven't been any. I've seen a few for some other games, but nothing from 14 or Yoshi P from TGS. He just abandoned all hope. Ye who enter here, I guess, when it came to TGS interviews, which is, I don't know, for you guys, kind of surprising.
Yeah, I'm surprised there was nothing out of TGS. PAX Australia is going to be happening, though, this week. He just did his talk. That's up online if you want to watch that. A lot of Field Ops is 7.2. That's kind of really the biggest news we got out of that.
And we already had that news, too, from Chinese Fan Fest.
Well, did we have 7.2 with that? I know we got the name. I don't remember if they dropped the patch for it.
They said aiming for 7.2x, yeah.
Okay, then there you go.
The Occult Crescent, I believe, is the name of the first bit for our exploration zone. Oh, but anyway, before we get started, thanks to our sponsors over on Patreon for supporting. We've had a few more people sign up over the last weeks. But remember, content's all free. There's nothing exclusive locked on Patreon. We just like to make sure everyone can watch this on YouTube or listen to it on Spotify or podcast apps. So it's just there if you want it to be. But thank you to those who are over there who support. And with that, I know where I want to begin, but Sly, don't give me that look, right?
He's just mentally preparing himself.
What does he know?
Actually, so I think that's probably the best spot to start.
Up to the beginning of Wings of the Goddess.
Okay, but Sly, here's the thing. So we're all about to get, again, you're going to feel young this episode. All right? We're here to fill you with the reminder that, we're the boomers here and you're not. You get to be the youngest one.
I know.
So
honestly, I wish I could feel young. I hope you enjoy this time, Sly.
I think I'm the youngest one here.
Oh, I do.
We try to out-boomer each other.
I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest one here. So
I might be the oldest, I think.
I think so, yeah. I'm pretty sure it goes me. I don't know about Fusion and Sly. They're close. I think you two are close. Because I know Sly's age, but I don't know Fusion's age. And Todd,
37.
Yeah, so that's okay. So it's Fusion, Sly, Todd. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate
Wait.
that.
Wait, Todd, you're older than me?
Yeah.
Yeah. 81, man.
81? Nice.
I know.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that. But anyway, no, Sly, actually I want us all to go a little bit more detailed, and it's going to make more sense why I want the detailed history when the 11 players start talking. You're going to notice a very distinct difference in how the topic is approached by each of us. So, Sly, I want you to talk about why you started playing 11 in the first place. I know why, but everyone's going to find it funny. And what your actual experience was going through those early sections in the modern era of the game.
Like, honestly, it was just kind of like a random thing. I'm like, okay, what if one day I play 11? Because I was really getting tired of all the 11 conversations that were had in 14, hell, in this podcast. And like, we'd go back, oh, that was from Final Fantasy 11. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck, I'll play it. And so I did. And my experience, well, it was okay. I mean, okay, I get that I get that it's way more streamlined than it was back in your days, but yeah, even still, with a streamlined experience, there was a lot of, what's this? Where do I go? Why am I doing this? Why can't I move that far? Why am I only attacking this thing like 100 times?
Oh, you did Dark Knight. That's what it sounds like. I hear 100 times. Sounds like Dark Knight to me.
No, surprisingly, no. I don't did Dragoon. Why are we in Delphuck Tower?
Delphuck. You know what? That's a good nickname for it. I like that.
That's what I've always called it. Delphuck Tower.
I'm ashamed that none of us came up with that back in the day. That's right
shoot.
there.
Right.
Yeah, but why am I in Delphuck Tower and getting fucked up if I just moved like slightly an inch over? Things like that. And I was just kind of interested in the story. And then, certain old practices came in, like, I would call them old practices came into play.
Talking about treasures.
When did you start playing 11?
Oh,
like how soon was it? Like when was your first time like playing 11?
2018?
Last year?
No, it wasn't last year. Last year was 2023,
Yes, it was.
Sly. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
I refuse to believe you only played it last year.
Really?
You played it post-COVID. Wow. I'll give you that. I know it was after COVID, but there's no fucking way 2023 was the first time you played. I swear it was like 2021. I don't even think Voracious Resurgence was done. Was out when you started playing.
That's interesting because like he has like the modern experience.
Yeah.
And I don't have any of that. I just have the old stuff.
To be fair, he was working through that, but the big difference is like we have PTSD about different things. Sly hates bees, for example.
Yes.
Okay. Not the rabbits?
No, the bees for rhapsodies for the 3 like honeys or whatever it is you need. He fought them for like 2 hours and like never got them.
Yeah, 2.5 hours for no fucking reason, and like
that's an authentic
it's like
experience.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
like,
about right.
Wait, it's just a chance that you. Oh, okay, cool. So I'm just smacking bees for like going back and forth, trying to find the bees, and smacking bees for 2.5 hours until I get 3.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was 3. Yeah.
And you liked it back then.
No.
It was in Kochta Highlands. I was watching that stream.
there was one that was one issue of PTSD, and then Ottergon.
Yeah, I knew Ottergon was a tough point for you for a handful of reasons.
Mainly one.
Which one? I assume it's the day. Not just Salahim. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that bitch better not be involved with this fucking storyline. I swear to God, I will not do this.
I don't.
She just fucking grinded on my gears the entire. I have never met a worse character.
She's a favorite, in case you don't know. She's a favorite. Not nearly like Prish favorite, but like she's a high point. Let's call her that. She was probably, I think the big thing is 11 didn't do character expression very well. So when they did, Naja was constantly expressive, like an in-engine.
Yeah.
So like
that bitch goes through desk.
Yeah, like Prish is the only other character who's really expressive up to that point, and then Naja becomes all of Treasures was more like pushing the PS2 dev kit stuff into that. So she was notable for that reason with the desk, the slam every time,
and then of course like constantly scamming you. Yeah, why don't you sign this little contract, right? You know, I'm just getting your name.
Oh, you're really jogging my memory here.
Yeah,
it's like coming back.
See, he may have played modern, but like those are all there still.
Yeah, but yeah.
So when are you finishing Wings?
Experiences. Fuck if I know.
Wings might be important here, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. I think Wings is about to be very important, actually. So we'll do it in the order I introduced everyone at the start. So Todd, now you get to do your boomer memory of getting into 11 in the early days.
Oh gosh. Yeah, well fortunately for me it was like just after graduating college, so like I kind of feel bad for anyone that like was still in school with an MMO when all that started happening and
oh boy, wait till I get to mine.
But yeah. Cuz I think it would have been bad news for me. But yeah, I remember picking it up. I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And gosh, what an experience! I played, I think maybe a year after its actual release or so. I think it was Zellart, or I can't remember exactly.
Zellart was how it came out in the
how it did came out. Okay, I think it was 2004.
Yeah,
that's when I started playing. So maybe it was like shortly after launch or something.
Yeah, that's about right. 2003 was North America, 2002 was Japan only. So
okay, so it's 2004. I didn't play 2000. I was also still kind of finishing school and stuff. But yeah, man, I sunk a lot of time into it. And back then, here we go. You could not alt tab out of the game. It would just crash the game. So
you still can't.
You still can't.
There's a windowed mode, like a native windowed mode now. But if it's
native,
if you full screen windowed mode, if you full screen the game still and you tab out, yeah, it still crashes.
Yeah, the alt tab thing. So like, I would have to have a Winamp, which also doesn't exist anymore. Another program to play your MP3s.
You can still download Winamp.
Okay, all right. Well, you had to remember.
Still
you had to
whips the llama's ass.
It does, which played a goat sound. Always pissed me off. At the end, like, meh.
Is that where you got the name? Is that
yeah? No, not really. No,
What's the llama's ass?
The llama thing comes from Quake. It is a gamer thing. Yeah, llama. But I remember having a playlist on Winamp. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna here's all my songs, shuffle, and then load into the game. And then if I didn't like the song, I just couldn't alt tab and change anything. It's just however it came. Just had to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it was a heck of an experience. You had to just they were the quests. There weren't really, I don't know. There were a lot of quests and stuff, but like it wasn't like it had the modern quality of life things that we have, where you could actually see a question mark above an NPC's name. You had to go and talk to every single one. It was all cryptic. And eventually you couldn't solo anything, like maybe past level 12. And you had to do everything in groups. And the best way to XP was to find a group of people and just find a camp and just beat up crabs for 5 or 6 hours.
Yep. For
I did that a little bit.
About 60 levels of crabs, you know.
Yeah, reskinned crabs or fish, goblins,
crawlers. Yeah.
Crawlers, beetles. I knew all the, well, I could probably list off a lot of the good camps. But I think most people know the Valkyrie Dunes parties. That is a common thread with when you start talking about well, if you played 11, you definitely had a Dunes party. You had like people getting goblin aggro or like a bogey at night or something, or or people shouting for the sub job quest items. So
Yep.
people can relate to that one.
They sure. So yeah. So Sly, funny thing, we have different sub job items. You did the Rhapsody's sub job quest, which is a different set of items, an easier set of items to boot than the original set of items. That's what he needed the 3 Bs for. Was for the sub job quests from Rhapsody's, whereas we needed items from like the strong monsters in the area.
Okay.
Yeah. So big difference. We needed help, Sly.
We did.
Yeah.
Magic.
And Todd,
magic skull.
you mentioned you mentioned groups for leveling.
Yeah.
I remember like starting out because I started out in Bastock.
Me too.
And like for a while I was just it's just me solo leveling, and all of a sudden I had to go to this cave. And this is the first time I experienced like random bumfuck death in this game.
Okay.
I got killed by a bat.
Yeah.
They're like, Sly, don't go that far. I'm like, why?
Wait, where did you go?
I'm trying. It was like,
Was it
one
outside of
caves.
Bastock, or was it like further another couple zones away?
Sounds like you're outside Palboro Mines.
Yeah. I was thinking it's the mines.
It's got
either Palboro or like.
I
Gustav
hate
or
how
something.
quick I can get to these. I hate it.
I randomly got killed by a bat because I went too far in. I'm like, wait.
Yep.
Oh god.
Huh?
It was either going to be Palboro or Guskin, but if it was right outside, it had to be Palboro.
Yeah.
Eco Warrior, can I have it?
No. The quest was never worth doing. I don't know why everyone did it. It was such a garbage quest.
I don't know. I did it.
It's like dying 5 times to get an item that gives you the experience back, because that's basically what everyone did it for every fucking week. It's so fucking stupid. I don't know if it could drop anything else. I don't think it could. I think it was just that EXP scroll. Oh. Anyway. Fusion, you're last up. Any fun beginning of the game memories, stories, experience?
So I got the game on PS2 for my birthday one year, because I was I was one of those like techie computer kids, right? I'm like, oh, it comes with a hard drive. That's cool. And I dabbled for a little bit, and I didn't really get into it till probably like 2005. But I remember logging in the first time and not being able to figure out how to heal. And I'm like looking at the stores. I'm like, I can't afford any of these potions. Like what is going on? And someone's just like, hit L3, and I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, now I'm kneeling. What is that? This is how. Okay. And yeah. I remember going to a Sam Goody to buy the Chains of Promathia expansion.
That's funny.
Gosh, the first boat to Ottergon was great. Somebody fished up the NM and then called for help on it, and everyone's like, don't call for help. We need to find out what it drops. But I mean, it's been like my senior year of high school is when I really started to get into this. So all throughout college, between
It's
classes,
gonna get worse, Todd.
Go down to the student lounge with my laptop and my USB numpad to play Final Fantasy 11.
Don't worry, Todd. Like I said, I'm about to make it worse.
That's all right.
Let's do it. Make it worse. Let's see what you got.
So, I got the game for a gift. So my birthday is right next to Christmas. So that was basically my big gift. I saw my friend play it a few months ago, and I asked for it for Christmas, and I got it, and I had the fat PS2. And I was able to play it right away because I didn't actually read the box. From North America, obviously didn't read the box. And I thought we needed a broadband connection to play it, but it worked on AOL dial-up. I found out in like April or May.
What?
Yeah, it was AOL dial-up compatible. Even on the PS2.
Gosh.
So I went to my parents, like, again, a few months later and said, wait, we don't need better internet. This says dial up. Can I install? Because I needed their credit card and everything to play because I was 13 at the time. That's the part where it gets worse, Todd.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh.
It was my last year in middle school.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And so I started setting it up, but I started setting it up at like 10 p.m. Big mistake. One of the things Final Fantasy 11 is most known for is its updating process. So you have to first install and register and update a service called Play Online, which
I remember the music is flooding into my head right now.
Yep.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm,
Dun, dun, dun.
oh, I'm not.
No. Like, I remember the one Play Online song. Wait.
Yeah.
That's how they used to start FanFest for 11. They would
Yeah.
play that at the opening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm about to tell you some shit about Play Online that most people don't know.
Oh, I know. You've probably seen the old like marketing commercials from Japan about like what Play Online could be. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, like, for example, Play Online was originally going to be Square's kind of online hub for everything. They put
Like a
Final Fantasy
Battle.net type
IX
thing.
strategy guide on Play Online. They put Tetramaster on there. I think somebody said
I remember
PSO2 or PSO or like one of the Fantasy Star
It
games.
was Fantasy Earth
Fantasy Earth.
is what it was. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right. Because then years later they did Fantasy Earth Zero, which was like a 100-player battle royale game. They did that in like the 2010s and stuff. Yeah. My roommate played Fez unironically. Like I remember, I'm like, what the fuck is this? He's like, oh, it's some Square game where it's like PvP only, like 100 versus 100 battles. It's called Fantasy Earth Zero. And I'm just like,
think maybe Dirge Cerberus ran through Play Online as well because it had multiplayer in Japan.
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. So they really wanted you to use this service. This was going to be their Battle.net, basically. Before Battle.net was a thing, mind you. Way before Battle.net was a thing. But you had to update that, log into it, and it had its own separate password and not even username. It's like a string of 8 characters. I still know mine off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. Because
I
I'm
actually
sick.
remember mine.
There's a few numbers that are important to know growing up in life: your phone number, your social security number, and your Play Online ID.
I remember it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you would log in, and then you'd have to actually install the game, which, even if you were on broadband, wasn't a great experience because the launcher couldn't really update at a good speed. Sly, you look like
checking files.
you're feeling something right now.
Because okay, I wanted to quickly interject about the whole registration experience.
Yeah.
Because okay, like I'm you kind of get like we're all kind of used to it. We're on Mog Station. It's a little different, but I guess they kind of rolled into each other. I guess they're both Square. Because I was familiar with registering for or 14. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be easy. No, it wasn't.
You know what's funnier?
It-
I think it was easier to do back then because we didn't have a website. So essentially, the booklet said, go to Play Online, go to this menu, type this in. Then when you need to register as expansion, go to this menu and type it in.
I had
And that was it.
I had to do fucking.
I know
I
what
to
you
do
had to
fucking
do.
Research.
I made a video guide last year on how to register for the game.
I still remember there was a time where they stopped taking certain like credit card payments or something
Yeah.
like that, but they still had to accept them via the PSU. So even after I was playing on PC, I remember digging out the PS2, plugging it back in so I could still use a certain payment way. Like it was ridiculous.
Yeah, so I was like, again, I was just kind of curious, like how the registration experience was different back then than it was too.
I think it was
had to-
easier.
You had to like use a stone tablet and deliver it by dinosaur.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
Chip
that's
away your
about right.
password.
Nothing like mailing in for everything back in the day. Even if you wanted to cancel something, send a letter.
There was actually legislation passed. I think it was in Illinois because some like senator's kid couldn't figure out how to unsubscribe to 11.
Yeah.
And so they passed a law that said like there needs to be an easy way to like unsubscribe to like online things.
That's not the only time 11 comes up in the news. We'll probably get to that later. 11. I remember going to school one day and going to my computer class and Yahoo shoving a Final Fantasy 11, a very memorable one.
Yahoo crashed my website.
Yahoo.
Yeah, that was.
Oh boy.
Was it AV? Was it that
Yeah.
one?
No.
Pandemonium Warden.
Yeah, it was Pandemonium Warden. Yeah.
Yeah, Yahoo
okay.
linked to us, and they
Which
crashed
was
our
linked to
web server.
AV. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it
right.
was
That's-
all.
I think that's
connected.
the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Most
okay.
people know that one. It was in the news because of the 20-hour Pandemonium Warden attempt. Yeah.
Yes. 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 That's
And then we got balance changes. Balance. Air quotes for literally everything they did in that game.
timers on everything.
Yeah. So I get in and play online, and by that point it's like 11:30, and I start the update, and it says it's going to take about 6 hours. So I was going to stay up for that. I wasn't going to go to bed because I didn't want to chance anything going wrong. I did have one automatic disconnect due to AFK. I didn't know that was a thing, and I turned it off after. Play online would automatically play online by default. Play online by default
Oh, that's
automatically
right.
disconnects you after
Yeah, that's
20
right.
minutes of inactivity.
Wow.
That is the
Updating?
default setting.
That's right.
Oh my.
And if you don't turn it off before you install the game and you walk away during the download, it'll stop the download.
Because there's so many things to do while it's installing.
Yeah.
You could be playing Tetramaster. What do you
No,
mean?
you can't, because you have to be on that menu. You can't leave that
that's-
menu to install it.
Never mind.
I did sign up for Tetramaster for 1 month. Then I remembered Tetramaster was shit. I don't know why I did it.
I
played it
signed up for it a couple times. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I did.
And so to pass the time, I watched Rush Hour 2 3 times back to back until about 6 in the morning.
Oh my god.
Love it.
Did you have to go to
Oh
Blockbuster
my
for that?
god.
I don't know. That was the only movie I had, so I just watched Rush Hour 2 over. I was like, okay, that's once, it's a third done. That's twice, it's 2/3. Like I could just break it into thirds.
Incredible.
With the credits too, because I have to watch the whole I have to watch the outtakes during the outro, of course. I'm like, damn, he gonna be in Rush Hour 3. You know, I gotta.
Yes, I was thinking of that one. That's one of my favorite outtakes from any movie ever.
I always dream 2 Square Madden. That's the other one in there that always gets me. Gefilte fish.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, it's all. See,
Feel the fish.
the gefilte fish. Oh, Chris Tucker, thank you. And then I logged in and I made a character named I Did Your Mom, and they GM'd me and made me delete it in 20 minutes.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Wait. Did they have something comparable to like the Morty in jail in 11?
It is. I've been to.
Yeah,
I was.
did?
I was in the Mortian jail within the first hour of playing Final Fantasy 11.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never seen it since, thankfully.
World
never been
first Morty in jail.
World first Mortian. No, I doubt it was world first, but it was very fast. World's fastest. Yeah.
Oh god.
And yeah, then Mr. Happy was the backup, which I was using as a handle at like a friend's house for like some alien shooter arcade style game. So I don't know how I did both. I just thought the first one would be funny. I was 13 and dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the start of it all. Also in Bastock, mind you.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't expect to have
Good
4
old
for 4.
Pittsburgh,
All four of
baby.
us. Yeah, best.
I'm shocked there's no Windurst or Sandoria.
Sandoria, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old Pittsburgh. We love Pittsburgh.
Why is Sandoria
Yeah,
Pittsburgh?
Hume.
No. Bastock is
Oh,
Pittsburgh.
Bastock is. Why is Bastock? I don't know why why it mattered. Which
It-
place?
it's a city of industry. It's hardened. The people are hardened there, man.
That's one word for it. I think racist is the other. Is Pittsburgh also?
No.
incredibly
Fuck
racist?
that. Everybody's racist. Like fuck, Sandoria is probably the most racist.
All the
Yeah, but
If we're
Bastock's
talking
racist
about-
within the city. Like they hate. Like they
Are.
like the populace hates each other.
The Elvas were just
Sandoria is
assholes
just-
in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite quest, you go to Sandoria and this kid's like, I can't find my dad. And then you find the dad. The dad's like, my son is weak. Here, take his fishing pole.
The fuck?
Okay.
At a time. And that's that's where my journey began. That would have also been 2004 because I would have gotten it late 2003 and then a few months delay. So, and to think I've still played it as recently as last year.
Whew.
That's
Got
almost 20
hooks in you,
years.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even like it when I play it. I just wanted to get Voracious Resurgence done. That's it. I just wanted to know it was like I was actually done this time. Like you can't tell me I'm done and then release another story. And now
I have a few gaps in my resume in 11 because I think I played up through towards the end of Ottergon. I played a lot of Ottergon, but then if you know what was out then, it was World of Warcraft, so I started playing more WoW when Burning Crusade launched. So I missed a few expansions of 11, but I came back for Abysia and playing with some friends there. And I was like, oh, hey, it's level 99 now, and it's really easy to level. Let's do a worm burn party or something. So I ended up like doing a whole bunch of stuff.
You were the chest bitch. You were the key bitch. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, the keys and stuff. But not like Mythic Plus keys. Just
no, you literally the people who are high level kill the mobs. You get keys and open chests, and that's all.
That's right. Do. You just open exactly right. You open the chests, and it was the best XP in the game ever compared to what we used to do.
Yeah, that's very different.
But I haven't done anything else. I haven't done the Seekers.
Seekers is really good. I definitely, if you did play Clash, Seekers is actually very good, especially because Seekers only got made because 1.0 failed. Funnily enough,
I just couldn't bring myself to just coming back and like playing, like way back when Abysia, I guess.
How the fuck did you balance like 2 MMOs back then? I mean, I know it's kind of like easy to do, easier to do today, but
Sly,
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm gonna blow your mind, Sly. I played WoW and 11 at the same time. I was subscribed to both at the same time because in 11 I sat there for 3 hours waiting for something to happen, so I just played WoW while waiting for something to happen.
Exactly right. Yeah, there's a lot of downtime, especially if you're trying to play or level a job that wasn't like in demand, and you're just hoping to find a XP party. Yeah, if you weren't like Bard or Red Mage or a healer or something, you'd be waiting for a while. And of course, I was leveling Thief was my main. People didn't really want Thief for a while. They wanted Ninja. They wanted like actual tanks or actual DPS. Monks, anything that would actually do damage in a party. So like
Sub Thief they liked. Thief they were impartial about. Yeah.
Sub Thief
until like 60 plus.
Right, until like Treasure Hunter became a thing. But even then, it was like, get you in the party, apply Treasure Hunter to the enemy, and then go sit in the corner again.
They just kicked you out.
They did, because you wouldn't do any damage. Like, you're feeding TP. You're not doing damage. Let's bring in a samurai. I'm like, okay, I did my job. I'm like a turkey baster of like, here's my Treasure Hunter, and then that's it. My job is done.
Man, you want to know a funny thing about Treasure Hunter? The devs told everyone they didn't even know how it worked for like 18 years. They were like, oh yeah, no, it doesn't do what you think it does.
Yeah, and because Sly, you know how you were complaining about those beehive chips or whatever you had to get, the honey or something? Man, the drop rate in 11, at least back then, I don't know if it's still true today, but it was absolutely atrocious. I mean, you would do I guess what's considered in-game bosses, right? And you're like, oh, I want to get this drop, right? And you would farm the requirements to do that fight or whatever it is, and you would get like a wind crystal as you get like nothing sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen there's a boss. So Tiamat in 11 is a 3 to 8 day respawn. Only one group gets to kill it. I've seen a fire crystal be the only drop for that several hour, that week long endeavor. I've seen only a fire crystal before.
Common thing. It's like, wow, a crystal. Thanks, guys.
Good thing we had Signet, or nothing would have dropped.
Yes. Exactly. So that's why you'd have to have, or people would want to have a thief in the party. Like, make sure you get on the aggro table and hit the enemy.
Yeah, they years later they confirmed that it would work for a situation like that, but there were some bosses that had 100% chance of dropping something. So it's like, this one item will either be this or this. And they're like, it doesn't work on that. It's useless.
Didn't they change it? Because I don't think there was an actual visual effect of it being applied until later.
No, that's very recent. That's like 8 years ago recent.
Yeah,
I think
right.
I have a vague recollection. I think there was a once they like started to be like, oh, let's actually like look into how Treasure Hunter is working. I think like they had a couple people from the community team like went up to like Mount Zalom and they're like, we killed like 1,000 crawlers and here's the data. It's just like, shouldn't you already have had that?
The devs also in that same post came out and said the whole direction thing everyone did. Like people used to face specific directions for crafting. Like that doesn't.
Oh God, the crafting. Yeah, jeez.
They were like, listen, if you think it helps, then it's technically working, right?
Yeah.
On a fire state, you have to face like northwest. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my very first time sitting down with Naoki Yoshida. I asked him about crafting directions for 1.0.
Yeah.
And I basically got that. Well, if you think it helps, then maybe you just got to believe. And Koji looks right at me. He's like, "You'll never get an answer. We're not going to tell you until like Final Fantasy 17 online comes out or something."
Now that's by the way, tangent. Everyone keeps asking if 17 is going to be an MMO. They're like, well, the first two were three numbers apart. What's going to happen next? And then the best response to that is they already have 3 MMOs. They're not going to make a 4th. They're like 3. Go Dragon Quest 10.
Oh yeah, no, Dragon Quest exists, everybody.
Yep, Dragon Quest 10.
It's a real thing. It released on the Wii.
Yeah, no, he's not wrong. It's on the Switch now, but
Okay.
yeah, that's an MMO.
Yep.
It's actually just like slightly faster 11 too. Unironically, it's just like it's a faster paced Final Fantasy 11. Not like fast like modern 11, like
was it like 1.0?
like classic, like it's like a faster like 11, like classic 11. Yeah, that's how I would describe Dragon Quest 10 at the very least. Oh, so Fusion, everyone else has given their experience with like how far they've played through and like what eras they played. Where does your story begin and end?
So I started. I'm trying to remember I don't know if COP was out or had just come out, but I do. I remember like picking up COP to do that stuff. And then I went in as far as Seekers. I have Seekers, but that was when like 14 was coming out, and then 1.0, and then Seekers, and so I'm like halfway through Seekers. I try to if there's like the free login period drops. And I'm not busy with something else, I try and log in and do a few more Seekers missions. But slowly getting through it. I mean, I have like ranks up. I ranked up with all the stuff and whatever. So it's not a matter of grinding stuff. It's just getting the missions done at this point. So I think the last time I played, I had recently gotten into like Rock Asnar, I think.
Then you're really close to the end.
I'm pretty close towards that. So
you're literally like two quests from being like basically done.
Yeah,
so I would bang that out if I were you next time. November actually, which is not a good time. November should be the next free login.
No, I have plans. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not happening. And then I've played. I mean, I played from like 2004 to 2010, and then dabbled in like 2013, 2015, 2017, and then through like 2018 through like 2020. I played a good chunk, like several months out of there, till I started a whole new character and did all the stories that I that I had done and that I hadn't finished before.
That's how I found you, Haps. All your YouTube playthroughs of 11.
Yeah, I had a video that has like over 100,000 views. It's just me starting up and trying to get leaping boots, and just it's a 2 hour. It's 2 hours of me leveling and then not getting the drop and just yelling at the game for fucking me once again after all these years.
I love telling people like camping stories and just gear acquisition, like things like level 12 boots or level 30 something would be like your best in slot at max level. Well, of course, at least one of your gear sets. That's the other.
Yeah.
But camping enemies and also telling people in game or your friends like, oh, how many attempts did it take for you to get this drop? And it's like, oh, well, yeah, Leaping Lizzie was like, for me, it was like, I was pretty good. It was 1 out of 7 tries. But Jaggedy Ear Jack was like 1 out of like maybe 60. And then Sozu Rogberry, I think it took like 80 kills. Over 80.
That's Thieves' Knife. I remember that.
You had to have the Thief's Knife. For your treasure hunter.
Yeah.
And I can hear right now, it's so vivid. The magic pots whirring. If you ever camped a thief's knife, you know that sound. Of the magic pots outside the room, just humming.
Sly, what was that face for?
This is one thing I've always thought of while I was playing this game. And I hate that I still haven't made this video, but the random as fuck names that they give for your notorious mobs or your notorious monsters. Leaping Lizzie.
The alliteration.
Leaping Lizzie.
One, yeah.
Bubbly
Sharp-eared Mrhappy. Sharp-eared Mrhappy. What was another one? Jaggedy-eared Jack.
Vivian.
Tom Tit Tat. Son of a bitch Sam. I mean, yeah, you can literally go on.
Voluptuous
like
Vivian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, VV. Yeah.
Yeah.
King Arthur.
I'm surprised that you went to the alliteration and not Sozu Rogberry as a fucking...
Yeah, Sozu. Yeah.
No. It's just they're just so fucking
Damn you,
random.
Sozu Rogberry.
So the squid limbed, Few the sea bellow, Mew the turtle rider.
You're just looking
I think
at
he
a
did.
list.
Yeah, he's reading stuff.
Yeah, because like I remember some of them, but like I didn't it's like let me see the actual names for some of these bitches.
The best part about this is I remember him going on this exact rant like a year ago, and I remember him saying "some bitch Sam."
What were the big rams in
some bitch Sam? I'm like, why don't y'all have one named some bitch Sam?
I know which one you're gonna say. Yeah.
I don't think there was a some bitch Sam. But yes, I gotta kill that some bitch.
there is a Sam. There is a Sam. It's a cockatrice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not some bitch, but it is Sam.
Nice.
Yeah, no, they had wild names. Yeah.
I'm camping this some bitch.
Yeah. And I in the time that I came back, I did make a relic, an Empyrean, a mythic. Yeah. I'm almost done with I never finished my what's the other one?
I missed all of that stuff, man.
Yeah.
There were I said Dynamis. I never said Dynamis back then. I was like, yeah.
Well, you
Dynamis.
die a bunch, so Dynamis.
Dynamis. I was a thief.
I heard that joke
main
a lot.
puller.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, no,
Dynamis.
you died nonstop.
I died.
You got to keep all the EXP books though.
I had to cap my EXP before every run too, so I could pad it so I wouldn't D-level, which is another thing that people might remember.
Yeah.
But
I have the D-level sound as a channel point redemption.
I do too, and people play it when I die in raids. Like,
They play it when I have bad opinions as well, or like when I make a bad joke, like when I do a dad joke. They'll play that. I'll be like, "What do you mean?"
Well,
that's my chat's version of -2.
Oh, is that on? Is that on during the podcast?
No, it's
yeah.
not.
Do you keep that on?
oh,
No, damn.
well,
I thought about looking.
I just remember
Yeah.
relics back then for like Dynamis. It would take the whole alliance would help one person make a weapon because it would just a massive undertaking just to get like all the items drops just for one relic. So I guess all the modern stuff everyone gets a relic.
Well, it's not so much. You still have it's still some effort, but you can do it.
Still
mostly.
grindy. Okay.
The mythic is awful to make to this day. It's an absolutely terrible. It takes minimum 50 days of Einherjar just to do the one currency, and yeah, no, it's still real. You still have to do all the assault missions. You still have to beat the kings. Yeah, which sometimes requires.
I liked assault.
Do you like doing all of them twice? Because
probably not.
No. Some of them are a problem too. Like there's one where you have to sneak around a bunch of Lamia, and if you get caught, you get sent back to the beginning. And when you're doing it alone and you can't see around corners, and yeah, no, it gets bad. If you have 6 people running for the exit, it's fine. When you have one person, you get 2 tries, and then you're fucked.
I have to confess something with assault though.
Yeah.
I used to do the whole dat swapping.
You son of a bitch.
And I would swap the true treasure chest with a massive Garuda, so I could just run straight to it.
I thought you were gonna say like a Vreacher or something, like something that would appear behind walls.
Well, yeah, something big and glowy, and I could oh, there it is. So I wouldn't get a mimic or something. Yeah, they patched it though.
They did, and at one point people were doing wire hacks for Nizul, and they added something to track people who were doing it and banned them all.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And not only that, but instantly when you entered that content, it could detect if you were using one and would ban you on basically on the spot.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. They took a lot of the Ottergon stuff seriously. There's a lot of history behind them, like banning people who are doing dupe tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about the dupe. Well, what was dupe?
It was you would be able to dupe
salvage.
the stuff in salvaged, so you could gear up quicker.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't remember how to do it. I never partook in any group that did it. I just remember that it essentially doubled your loot. So something. I don't know. I'll call it splits. Yeah.
Splits. Yeah.
That's their version of splits, I guess. I think you did need to have something weird with like one of the people who's whatever, it doesn't matter.
I remember duping stuff in Diablo, but
yeah, everyone dupes stuff in Diablo. I remember duping rare candies in Pokemon. Like everyone was just dupers back then.
yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Fancy Star Online, duping.
Everyone's like, listen, if I'm gonna play a role playing game, I'm gonna play it at my pace, and I'm duping these items to make sure that happens. All right. There was no shame about duping in the old days. Nowadays, it's like, man, you do that exploit. That's so lame. You're like, you're fucking right, I'm doing that exploit. You've been playing games as long as I have. You're just trying to get to the next one at this point. So those are our histories with 11. But obviously, they're adding stuff. They're adding an 11 storyline, an 11 focused storyline to 14. Now, over the years, we've had a lot of 11 references in 14, way before this. I mean, one of the first fates we saw in the beta was Bubbly Bernie over in Western Thanalin.
Well, a lot of the enemies are like just taken from 11.
The Velociraptors are a very noticeable one. I think when they were showing off 1.0 assets, like before 1.0
Crabs
came
are the same.
Yeah. Crabs are the same. We have a few different types of crabs, you know.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. But there was just a lot of asset swaps. Interesting thing about asset swaps, Lightning Returns and A Realm Reborn are being made at about the same time. And so there's models that Lightning Returns borrows from A Realm Reborn and vice versa.
Oh.
I think the Minotaur from 14, the like over the head like wireframe, is used in Lightning Returns. And was originally made for A Realm Reborn. That was Square like on asses on fire mode.
Yeah.
Like full on post 1.0 trying to save the company. Like it's like we had Spirits Within, we had 1.0, why don't we learn mode? That's a deep wound for some people. Spirit. I know in the last year I've seen a lot of people say, Spirits Within's not bad.
Also a paladin ability back in 11.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely definitely the movie comes up every time the ability comes up. But now it's Expation.
Oh yeah.
So now it's Expation for us. I think Expation's also in 11 now, but it's not like a Spirits Within thing. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure. I forgot where I was going with that point. We got on like 6 tangents.
It's easy to get on tangents with 11.
Yeah, we're getting stuff into 14, and so the alliance rate has been largely tight-lipped up to this point. Pretty normal. They usually don't give us like Myths of the Realm. Didn't get a whole lot, Shadows of Mach probably had the best teaser up to it because we found the ship in the wild before they ever announced the Void Arc as a raid series. Mm-hmm. So that's a wild Heavensward memory. But now we have a few things to go off of. The first thing that we got back in last year, actually, was the picture of the Shadow Lord. Now, the Shadow Lord, for those who don't know, I have a whole video on who he is, at least the generality of it. He's the antagonist of the base game and has been an overarching figure in a lot of the story since then. The place that Fusion may seem familiar. He is in the Shadow Lord's throne room, which we have also seen a picture of some version of the throne room. Yeah. So, Sly, your memory of the Shadow Lord is not going to be like ours. Did you just roll in there and fuck his shit in like 2 seconds?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very different. So the big thing is like Sly was probably 99 by the time he got there. 99 with basic item level stuff. Yeah.
Was I? Wait.
You were not actually with trusts. You probably could have rolled up at like 65, 70 and been fine.
Yeah. I definitely had trust, but yeah, like in separate conversation. Because I don't think I was like 99 when I got the Shadow Lord. I want to say, I mean, I had to do the limit break quest, which again,
the one where
fucking stupid.
Wait,
The limit break.
so that means you would have probably have done LB3 by that point. So to take it back another step, Final Fantasy 11, the max level is 50 by default. You have to do a quest every 5 levels after that in order to raise the level cap for your character. Those are called limit breaks, or as the Genkai quests. Yeah, it's limit in Japanese. So that's what they're called. So fucking 11 players are like, I'm gonna call it by its Japanese name because that's what I'm gonna fucking do, I guess. And the first one's really easy. It's just collect a few items. Nowadays, you can even pick them up off the ground. You don't have to kill the enemy for them. You can find them as interactables, which I'm sure you did, Sly, instead of killing them, the X-rays and whatnot.
Some of the quests I had to go to the market board.
Not for the first limit break. For the no, not for any of them. I don't think you would have gone to the market board because LB1 you would have had to have gone and gotten the items either as a drop or off the ground. The second one you would have had to have gone to Zarkabard and walked past or mounted. You can mount and walk past the tigers and shit now. Just step behind them, pick up the item, mount up, and then walk back the other way. You don't have to do any of that. The third one you would have had to have traveled to the castle, to Devoy. You would have had to gone to all the Beastman strongholds.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They made travel like a lot more, right? Because we didn't have mounts or anything. Like we like part of the experience in 11.
Oh yeah, I used the Raptor.
Trying to get around
because the Raptor was my first. Yeah,
that
was my first mount.
When you unlock your Chocobo, which takes 5 minutes now, by the way, not 5 hours. When it first came out, Sly, you could only turn in one Gazal Green every in-game day, which is about 8 minutes or so.
Yep.
So now it's just every real life minute that passes, you can turn that quest. As soon as you do that, you can do a mount quest nowadays. And you just have to run like a little, not even an obstacle course, but a little tiny annoying quest. Usually it takes 2 tries because for some reason the first try is like unbeatable. And then the second try, they like nerf the difficulty and it's like doable. Nobody I know has beaten the Raptor minigame in the first try. And all you're doing is running from point to point. I don't know why it's like so impossible to do or why they did it that way. And yes, you can teleport between all the home points now. That's the big thing. There's also the manuals, the field manuals that you can teleport between the survival guides. And then there's like Void Watch teleports and like there's like a billion teleports. Like you just have to pick one. Unity teleports, everything. So
wait, so Sly never had to deal with the whole like waiting 30 minutes for a boat in real time and then having
you do
20 minutes.
Whoa, wait.
Yes,
Ottergon had like Ottergon had those like day waits and and I get to a certain point and like what can I do? They're like nothing. You
a
have
lot
to
of
wait
airships,
so
boats,
hours now.
Yeah. Well, getting to Ottergon, you would have had to have, unless you got lucky and the boat was in the dock, you would have had to have waited for the boat to go to Ottergon in the first place is another thing.
Yeah, that wasn't too long of a wait. The boat to Ottergon, that wasn't too long.
Most painful thing was like seeing the airship or boat just leave.
Yep.
The gates closed. I'm like, no, the cutscene. I'm like,
there's a reason that everybody wanted to buy the title Talisman.
Yep. There's lots of ways to get around now. You have to go everywhere once first in order to get it. So the initial travel is still a bit of a pain, but afterwards the repeat travel is basically not, I wouldn't say non-existent, but far less than it was. The few locations that are annoying to go to, nobody goes to.
right.
And you unlock the teleport through the manuals, right? If I remember.
That's one of the teleports. There's also the actual home points that you can get. Okay. That tell you.
And then there's
like
home
17.
Points.
Yeah, there's like so many things.
Yeah, they added a home point in front of like every BCNM. Like it's really easy to get.
There's one outside the Shadow Lord's room now.
There you go.
Oh,
Yep, I've used that a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's quite handy because Voracious Resurgence knows how to use that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh boy, it does.
I just remember you had to have, just to get places, you had to have sneak oils or silent oils and the ability to hide. And
Slide, just go sub Dancer.
Came out
It's
with
fine,
Spectral Jig, and I never played anything
Oh,
else.
God.
Well, before Dancer was even there, so it's like
Oh, snake
have
oil.
all these-
Slide here. Take the snake oil. I'm like,
sneak
for
oil,
what?
right, and
Man,
Yeah.
you want
if
to
you
know?
die somewhere high level, yeah.
Yeah,
wait
now
for
you
the
can buy
res.
them from a vendor. The Moogle sell sneak oils and powders.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
man.
And Gil's pretty easy to come by, so it's not that big a deal.
Okay,
Just
okay.
buy them. Funny thing about Dancer, when we were predicting Dancer in 14, I said it would have chakrams as a weapon because for some reason, even though Dancer doesn't really use chakrams in 11, they made their artifact weapon a throwing chakram. And I was
Yeah.
like, they're going to do chakrams. in
They
14.
shared daggers, didn't they?
Yeah, they mostly use daggers hand to
Yeah.
hand. People thought the Stormblood character was that Lise was a dancer initially, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's not a dancer.
That,
Those
that
are literally
teaser at
monk
FanFest,
attacks.
I was like, oh my god, Dancer! And
I
it's
was like,
oh.
bro, that's Snap Punch. What do you mean dancer? She just used Fist of Wind and Snap Punch. I was like, clearly I'm the only monk player.
It was the costume.
It was the costume, I know.
Yeah.
I told everyone, I was like, nobody watches Chinese martial arts, do they? I'm getting mad listening to everybody. They're like, you're dumb. And I'm like, I was right, is what I was. I knew it wasn't I knew it wasn't Dancer. Sometimes I just need to listen to me. Like when I predicted our patch schedule, which is almost likely confirmed, they're like, they're not going to do that. I'm like, come on. They don't care about Thanksgiving.
They're a Japanese company. Why would you think
Yeah.
this?
Smart of the Canadians to move their Thanksgiving away from the patch. It's really a good idea. But so Shadow Lord, our first major feature. Now, it's tragic character when you know the actual story. But here it's interesting because you got to remember that 11 is told very slowly in terms of its like overall story. We're about to cram Final Fantasy 11 into, I'm going to assume 3 patches. I don't think, as smart as it would be, that they're ever going to do the Nier thing again where they string story quests in between the Alliance. I don't know why they wasted that idea on only the Nier raid and haven't used it with the other Alliance raids since then. I'm befuddled by the thought of it. But I don't know that they can really cram that kind of story. Do you think are you afraid that the 11 players are going to be like, I guess 11 players about these characters kind of having their either influence change or their story arcs kind of shot through in the 3 patches?
Probably. I mean, well, but there's just so much. There's so much story, so much history. It's like, how could you? It's like going from a novel to like the movie adaptation or something.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good way to put it.
It's like we're gonna be mad at something like, well, if you weren't actually there, this is what really happened. But I'll just appreciate it. Just having these characters. I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, what I've been saying since day one is they're not going to make everybody happy with this. Everybody is going to, 11 is, I think, like 22 years old this year, right? And I mean, just, all of us talking, right? We all were playing at certain points and we all have gotten to certain points and we all have different memories of things. And so obviously with this raid, they want to try and, fan service for those people. But as we learned from the Nier raid, you also need to make a story understandable in 14. And it's,
Did we learn that from the Nier raid? I think we learned. I guess we learned what happens when you don't.
Well, we learned that you need to have a cohesive story that makes sense for the game that you're in.
Yeah. Right.
And we get 3 raid tiers. There's no way they can cram everything into that. I mean, the benefit they have here is that canonically they can make like a greatest hits boss rush raid if they wanted to, right? And they could make it canon to 11 and whatever, it's fine. Narratively though, like that would be weird. I would be surprised if we got anything out of Ottergon.
God, I hope not.
Yeah,
it's,
I'm thinking it's
you know,
just
we have Prish. That's a safe bet that we'll at least get to Promathia. You know, I joke that, you know, okay, so the raid's going to just be another Promathia took over the world bullshit story, and it's fine because we've had those before and we're used to it, right? So boom, 11 fan service right there. But you know, they need I think they need to narrow the scope of everything, and I think that, yeah, I think they'll be able to tell a good story, give some fan service, and have it make sense for people that haven't played 11. So that's the hope.
That's the hope. And I think that's the big thing. We have Shadow Lord, who's, to be fair, Prish and Shadow Lord are directly tied in story events in the base game. For those who need a quick refresher, Prish has a crystal embedded in her chest, grown out of her chest more accurately, and a piece of it actually caused the creation of the Shadow Lord. So they're pretty much inextricably tied story-wise. They just never meet until like one event for like 5 minutes, essentially. Thank you, Apocalypse Nye. Yeah.
oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Just okay. Yeah, that was the name of that quest or mission.
Did you notice the big change with the Shadow Lords concept art that we got?
You mean the one that's in that has Prish in it with like the actual patch art?
the first one they released. I and this was something somebody pointed out to me on Twitter. I hadn't realized it. Galkas have 4 fingers in 11.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
The Shadow Lord artwork has 5 fingers.
Nah, yeah. I don't look at hands and feet like some people. So no, I didn't notice
you know,
that.
what does it mean? It could mean something.
He's no longer a Simpsons character.
I think the artwork was just done by somebody that didn't realize it, and it's probably not a big deal because they're probably reusing aspects of models and.
Dude, half the time the gloves you're wearing in that game just look like oven mitts anyway. It's
They're
like
mittens,
I don't fucking remember how many fingers people have. There's so many things that just look like oven mitts.
It's true.
Honestly, before Artifact Gear, I remember looking fucking stupid.
To be fair, you look pretty fucking stupid in the early levels of 14 also.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Until you get to, I think, Stone Vigil. Stone Vigil is really where it kind of turns around and you get some like really like dope stuff. I guess you get the stripper gear before that, so that's something. From what is it? Oh no, Zamiel's 44. So it's no, Stone Vigil's out. Yeah, I get the stripper gear in 40 to 50 range. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. So before I knew really anything about gear in FF11, I think I saw this one set and I was like, I had to have it. I'm like, this is for Thief, and it was like the Shade set. It was like level 30 or so.
Yeah,
the Shade harness. You know, it's
yeah,
like
that was the set that people wanted for Promethea for.
Yeah, just for Promethea. I thought I gotta have it, not just for Promethea stuff, but I was like, I need to have this.
Yeah,
this is what Thief should get. And I wrote it down. I had a binder. I had a binder of things. Because you know, again, couldn't alt tab out of the game, so you couldn't just pull
you printed it out and you made the binder.
Yes,
I know.
I printed out. I had a binder, printed things. Yep, and I was like, all right, Shade harness. This is how I get it. I had all my guides printed out in a binder for reference. But
that hasn't changed, by the way. The only difference is now that you can tab out, you just pull up the wiki. Back in the day, we printed things out because we could. I played on PlayStation, so I could, but I didn't have a PC for the first several years, which is why I played on PlayStation.
Right.
So I would go to school and print out things from like Alakazam and put them in a binder.
Alakazam.
Yeah.
Killing Ifrit.
Yep. Those were the websites. I forgot where we were going again.
We're still on the track of Shadow Lord and
and the story and all that. So the big toss up here with having Shadow Lord, having Prish, those aren't really toss ups. Everyone expected Prish to show up. She was the second representation in Dissidia because she is a fan favorite. Shantoto had a collaboration event, probably won't show up here because of that. For those who don't know, and Fusion probably can back this up, Koji has said they don't write collaboration events as canon because then they'd have to actually explain how those worlds are connected and make it make sense lore-wise. So they don't do that. So the Shantoto event technically never happened, as did the Aroha event, Also never technically happened in the terms of the story.
Until they did.
Until they did, which is possible. There is the theory that Iroha actually goes to 14 at one point in 11's story and comes back because one of her, in the final fight of Rhapsody's, she has a skill that she only has in that fight after she goes missing. And she uses that skill in the 14 side of the event. So like, oh, because she went to 14 and came. That's not what happened. It was a reference, all right? It's just because it's her most popular skill. It's not how it works. They didn't retroactively do that. But the big foil was I know I was thinking, oh, Castles of All will be the first raid or like the Northlands or something. And instead, it's Juneau. Now, Juneau is essentially our first major city hub. You know, think of it like the Ishgard, essentially. Like when you have the 3 starting city states and then they all converge into the center one. Effectively, it would have been what our Ishgard would have been.
Yeah, it was basically Party Finder.
Yeah, it was Party Finder as a city. I hate that description, but you're right. It's completely
It was a different time.
Yeah.
So that means we might have Rulude Gardens, or perhaps I don't know. Maybe we'll have a mat fight.
God, I hope not.
Well, I mean, it's hard. We see one screenshot of Juneau. It could just start in Juneau and then we go to the north, right? I mean, they
because it
gotta
looks
connect Throne Room somehow, and there's a few areas in between Juneau and Castle's Falls.
This is where I'm gonna blow your mind because I think I know what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, because it looks like we're starting in Lower Juneau, right? And then,
well, we don't know if we're starting there. That's just the screenshot they showed. We could be starting in Port. They might have just shown because that stretch of Lower Juneau is basically what Juneau is known for. Like that exact dip with the lamps is like the iconic
Light
shot
the lamps.
of Juneau.
That's right.
The
Light
fucking
the lamps.
lamps. Yeah, light the lamps.
I just want to see if we're gonna get brown magic in the raid.
We're not getting brown magic.
We don't know. We don't know until it's out.
Stop.
So because like you said, we're trying to map out how we're getting from Juneau proper to the Shadow Lord's throne room. The teleporters were in Rulude Gardens, right? If I remember.
There are no teleporters in Juneau.
I mean,
there's an elevator in Juneau.
There's a question marks you traded the.
There's straight up an elevator.
There's home points that you can use to teleport.
Yeah, all the home points. Yeah, I mean that's every home point in the game though.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing we maybe use a home point in Rulude Gardens to get to.
So I don't think you're that far off, but there's a key thing. So everyone was surprised at Juneau. Everyone thought maybe we'd get Juneau as a hub. Maybe we do after the first raid. Maybe they treat it like when we first beat the first fight in Pandemonium. That kind of became the Pandemonium hub.
I think there'll be a hub for sure.
For a little bit. Eden, of course.
Yeah. We could get the waiting for group experience, waiting in Juneau with the little green icon above your head.
Oh my God, Aloha. Just unplugged my light by walking behind my.
I think they have a wonderful opportunity to, if you enter Duty Finder looking to enter into one of these raids, they should pop the little LFG icon above your name.
The green question mark.
Yeah,
I hope so.
No. No. But everyone keeps looking at Juneau, and they're not paying attention to 2 things. One thing they are noticing, but they're not really thinking about it too much. And the second thing is gone almost. I don't know. I feel like I don't know why 11. Maybe it's because most 11 players stopped playing before this happened. So the sky is the big thing. The sky is dark, shadowy. That can mean plenty of things in 14. In 11, it's a little bit complicated, and I don't know if I want to describe it all right now. But most people would associate it with an activity known as Dynamis.
Dynamis,
yeah.
Dynamis Juneau.
Essentially, it was turning the city, which wasn't Lower Juneau in 11, it was Rulude Gardens. It turns the city into a sort of raid, in a sense, where there's a bunch of monsters that spawn around, a bunch of mini bosses, a final boss at the end. And you go in there and you farm a bunch of monsters, hope for drops, get some currency, and work on relics. It's a once every few days activity you did with your group. However, that sky is used in 11 in a lot of things. And to understand that, you need to have played Wings of the Goddess. And the other key aspect here is the name of the raid. It is called Juneau, the First Walk. The Walk of Echoes is quite a controversial bit of 11. Not lore-wise, but release schedule-wise. It definitely shows the 11 team at their least focus or Square at their most focused. I don't know what way to describe it. And okay, let me explain. So they released Wings of the Goddess, right? Which is the expansion that the Walk of Echoes comes from. They then said, we're not going to keep doing that. Let's release a $10 expansion, an add-on scenario that lasts like 6 hours, and we'll give that to them. And then they did another Wings of the Goddess update, and then they released another $10 add-on pack, and then they released another, and all of these add-on packs are just like distractions that they're just like, I don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to make money. But then before finishing Wings of the Goddess, they started releasing Abyssia, which then raised the level cap mid Wings of the Goddess before they finished it. And they just refused to finish Wings of the Goddess for like years while they
Wings
released
of the Goddess
other
went
shit.
on forever.
Yeah. It was incredibly strange. They just like refused to finish it and sold $60 worth of add-on scenarios that like warped the game to something that wasn't even the same as when Wings of the Goddess began. It's so strange. I don't know the exact schedule of it, but I know plenty of people who finished Abyssia before they finished Wings of the Goddess. I think Walk of Echoes came out when the game was at like level 85, the first like part of Walk of Echoes. Something like that. I don't know. It's incredibly strange. But what we learn in all of this, lore-wise, and this is a big lore bomb, but I need to explain it. Do you know, am I the only one who understands how Wings of the Goddess works out of the four of us?
Probably.
I mean, I have a bunch of different theories and stuff, but go ahead
for
and
Wings or for
chime
14?
For everything.
For everything.
I have maps. I have made maps. I have tried to map all this stuff out.
Am I gonna have to go back and watch an episode of Eighth Right Radio?
The last two, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the Walk of Echoes is effectively our Rift in 14. It connects all the versions of Vana'diel that have ever existed. The big thing is that only one version of Vana'diel survived, and that's the version you play in. That's where the main game takes place. But that's not the original version of Vana'diel. It's a copy of the original, which was completely destroyed.
Oh, yeah. I remember briefly talking about this because I compared it to Tokyo and SMT5. Yeah.
Yeah, because the main villain of Wings of the Goddess comes from the original Vana'diel that was destroyed. And every side content that exists in the game is effectively another version that's connected via the Walk. Dynamis is a dream world made by Diablos, but apparently there's two different Dynamises. They're kind of unclear about that. There's like Dream World Dynamis, and then there's like alternate
Dream World
reality.
gets weird because it's like, is it another, for 14 terminology's sake, right?
Yeah.
Is Dream World another shard, or is it just weird fuckery that's happening on the current, right? And we get into that too in 11 too with like future stuff, like oh, this character comes from a dark future, but is it actually another thing? Or because we have a dark future in 14 as well. Like Graha and Roha should sit down and have a beer and a long talk. I think they'd have a lot to share.
Roha comes from a future where you're her master and it gets destroyed, so she goes back in time to try and stop it, but then it opens up other portals to the future. And then Abyssia is a version of the game where you fail to beat the last boss of Chains of Promethea and he absorbs your soul. And it's just like, there's all sorts of weird alternatives that happen and they all meet. The Walk of Echoes is lore-wise supposed to connect every single one of them through Atamos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Abyssia could also be Vana'diel's Void.
Kind of. It's interesting though, because in Abyssia, Prish is actually the lone survivor of Abyssia, of the final battle. So when Promethea and like Tenzin, when all the characters converge there, Prish is the only one who walks out alive.
Yeah. Well, we also have, remember when they started all the Void Quest stuff, like the Void Walkers, Void Watch, all that stuff. The first guy that shows up, his name is an anagram for I am Abyssian.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, 11's got a lot of weird shit like that.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Also, there's a Gilgamesh that comes from the Void, funnily enough. That's another big hint, is that from Abyssia, there's another version of Gilgamesh that shows up. Yeah. It's the same, like, character. It's not the one that big crazy guy.
It was like the pirate guy.
The pirate, right? He's the pirate lord.
Pirate samurai.
Yeah, pirate
that's
samurai.
how they combined stuff.
Yeah.
You have like an eye patch. It was,
So you mean Lion's father?
No, Lion's father is what's his face? Oh wait, no, yeah, it is Lion's father. Yeah, Gilgamesh is Lion's father. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I was for some reason I started thinking of what's his face from the Ten Shoto, who's just really likes Lion.
Aldo.
Yeah, Aldo.
Yeah, he's the little boy in the opening cinematic.
Yes, he
That's
is.
right.
Sister.
Aldo.
Yep.
Yeah. Where's Aldo? Yeah, he's the guy. Yeah, he's the kid who's doing this, who gets saved by the orcs by the older brother, and then you know,
Yep.
and then and then the Tavnasian, and then they set off a nuke in Tavnasia because they just do that, and then they never did it again for some reason. They're just like, no, one nuke is enough. Shadow Lord's like, that's it, that's enough, no more nukes.
We'll knock out that city and then we're good.
Yeah, it's cut off from the mainland now. We can worry about that in a future expansion. It's fine.
Yeah.
Shadow Lord helping us set up expansions. But the fact that it's called the first walk is, I feel, not a. It's called Echoes of Vanadil. First walk, Echoes of Vanadil.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I can't help but feel like there's some sort of, like, I think no matter what, this is going to be some alternate universe shit. I think the website even hints at it potentially being another shard. The actual teaser site.
So the website says go to an altogether different world Vanadil. So I think the way that this is gonna work, and again, I do have graphs. Go watch the last 2 episodes of Aetherite Radio. I kid you not, we have a theory. We're calling it the nipple graph.
Okay.
Because you think of like Aetheris and the source and how it works, right? You have the source and then all the reflections, right? So it's a big circle, and then you have the big one up top, nipple. So basically, the way that it works is that's the plane that exists, right? Is the source. Midgard-Stormer didn't fly to Aetheris and land on the first or the second or whatever. He landed on the source. That's the one that's visible to everybody. So really, what we need to find out is what is Vanadil's nipple. And that's how we get there. Is it base game 884, and from there we go to Walk of Echoes? That probably seems like the most likely scenario, especially if they want to canonize Shantoto and Aroha's appearance at all. But from there, we can go to anything. We can go to stuff that has existed in 11. We can go to a completely new shard, reflection, whatever you want to call it, and they can just throw whatever they want and write whatever story they want and still have elements from everything connected to it and still be canon to 11.
Canon. See, that's the thing. I think they've pretty clearly said that it's not 11 and 14 coexisting. That it is like making stuff in 11 make sense in 14's lore and world. So that's why I'm gonna stay confident that while they can do most of the things, that it's still something coalesced and shoved into 14's lore. What I'm hoping is that if it's not just another shard and they've done something with it. I think the 11th shard is one of the lost shards, and we don't know anything about it, for example.
I think that would be a great disservice and disrespectful to 11 to have this game that's existed for so long and to be like, oh, actually, it's part of this thing. So
I'd rather it be that, because here's the thing: I don't want it to just be, oh, we went to 11. I think that's lazy and disrespectful. That's what I think. I think
I don't like Nier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Nier's different. Nier isn't lazy and disrespectful. Nier is get it out of my game.
True.
Like, you made no effort in tying anything together. You just stuck a bunch of Nier shit in there, and it's like it doesn't exist. Yeah. And it's like, here's Nier. Yeah.
I mean, and there's ways they can do it. Like, obviously, with Dawn Trail, right? Spoilers, we see Alexandria, right? But it's not the Alexandria.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I think it'll be for 11.
Yeah.
Alternate.
To say that, we go to an altogether different world Vanadil, I don't know. I feel like it means we could go to actual Vanadil. I think having it as the 11th, it's weird. I don't know. Like they could do it. Chat's saying something multiverse. Also true. Yoshida did drop that word recently. So they could just whatever and sure. I think it'd be cooler. I think it'd be neat to explore a little bit more of the canon of 11 and to see how some of that stuff works with Walk of Echoes and the reflections and stuff, because they mention it in a couple places, but I think they can still go in, have us do whatever we want, have them tell whatever story they want to tell, and still be respectful to the 11 canon and to still have it all make sense and work. So
Yeah, I think they'll just try to stay close to the events that happen in 11 because I'm not entirely unconvinced this because here's the thing, Prish being a part of this and it being about the Shadow Lord, I mean, it sets up more the Abyssia kind of platform than it sets up anything else, ironically enough. I think the big thing is how do you fit 11's lore into 14 without it being kind of conflicting. I think Altana's existence on its own is already if they're gonna include Altana, or it's not just like because here's the thing, the obvious answer is that they just call Hydaelyn Altana. You know, like that's
well, sure. And and the other problem, right? People are like, well, what if Vana'diel's just the 11th? Well, it depends how literal we're getting. Is this the Alexandria takeoff? It's not actually FF9's Alexandria, right? But if this is actually Vana'diel has its own reflections. You're not going to have a reflection that has its own reflections. We're not going to do reflectionception. That's messy and silly, right? So,
yeah, there's room for quite a few things. I mean, it could even just be another planet that had its own Aetheris type events. We know that Aetheris isn't the center of like the universe. It's the center of our universe, but it's not the center of all universes. So. There's a possibility it's literally an entire planet that's just kind of lost to.
And we have cosmic exploration coming up. We've been to the edge of existence, right? Space travel's not unheard of now, right? So we could easily go across space and just land on Vana'diel, go through the Walk of Echoes, and get a brand new story.
The question is more so how does it begin? Because I feel like with most, except for Nier, with most of the Alliance raids, there's kind of an overlying kind of, you understand how we got there. Like with Crystal Tower, it's in the initial artwork, it's visible, it's a major landmark that with like a lot of unknown. With the Void Ark and all that, we found the Void Ark in the fucking wild, and Yoshi P's like, wow, that's weird. Like that's all he would say about it. Ivalice, there was tons of lore already leading into its existence. We knew that there were areas, and then they kind of just dove all the way in, then Nier. And then Myths of the Realm was, it's digging up lore from, the last decade that went completely unanswered. All of those essentially have context. The question is does this already have context, or is it just something that's kind of a result of Sphyn's shenanigans, I suppose?
So Mamul Ja are also aliens to the planet. They too came to Aetheris, just like Midgard Stormer.
Hi, Kat.
I know. Hi. It's Luca.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, Hildebrand was almost an alien.
Yeah. I was holding out for a little bit. I was like, yeah, all right, sure, why not? I mean, and again, right, it goes back to if they want to canonize Roja, I think that would be an easy avenue for that. But yeah, whatever that connection is, I don't know.
It's not apparent yet.
I kind of want it to be, kind of natural yet out of nowhere. Like for instance, how after Omega, Alpha and Omega go on this little journey, and you could see them in any random place. Like, yes, such a good thing. Like,
you want a Roja to be wandering around?
Prish, maybe. Like, Prish is somewhere in Tuliolol just for no fucking reason. She's just lost. Like, where the fuck am I? What is all this?
That's kind of how we found Roja. Roja was just like, where the fuck am I? Yeah. That's how all
like just
four-fingered Rogan.
Yeah, we just haven't found Prish yet. She's in like one random part of Tuliolol, and nobody's seen her.
I swear,
I want it to happen like that.
I swear to God, if she doesn't look at a Galka and go, "Where's your tail?" I'm gonna be very fucking surprised.
True.
I expect whatever race you are, she's gonna look at you and make some sort of like comments about like
I think she says Mithra, Mikote. I hope she calls you a Mithra.
Yeah, call you by the wrong.
Yeah.
We just had another new set of race names with Dawn Trail. Let's add one more.
We did.
Which ones are I think most of them are technically used in the first name wise, but like I don't know that we ever, because it's what is it? It's Hume, Elvon.
Elvon, yeah.
Dwarf.
Gulgent.
Yeah. I just remember that Hrothgar or Ronso on the first. That's the number one that I always remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. She sees a male Mikote. It's like, I've never seen a male Mithra before. There is one in 11. There is one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He plays chess during the war.
That's right. Yeah, he sure fucking does. Yeah.
Good job. Yeah, I'm kind of with Sly though. Like, I don't mind if it would just be like not really explained. It's like maybe show up to Juneau on an airship. Like we just get transported there somehow, and then maybe they just like kind of just throw some like the best of 11, maybe some of the earlier stuff at us. I was really hoping for okay. I mean, Prish Shadow Lord. Okay, great. But I would like to see and hope that we get like the Archangels fight. That was really cool. Maybe some more memorable classic fights
would be good.
thrown in there. I don't know, maybe Sky, Sea type stuff. Well, I guess we already have like sea enemies already.
That's where it gets tricky, right? Because it's that like, not everybody played up till Seekers, right? So you wanna if you're doing this as like a big fan service thing, you gotta try and get the best like margin of when people were playing.
Like
so I think
best of exactly.
Except
Up to,
Treasures,
like,
which is
COP.
when most people were playing was Treasures. But,
Which is, I mean, Treasures was like the golden age for that. But it's also, you also have to consider too, right? Okay, well, who do you fight in Treasures of
really
Otter-Gon?
Alexander and Odin.
Alexander. Yeah. Who do you fight? It's like we have these characters. Who's one of the bosses in Adeline? Hades. It's like, oh, okay, well, how do we explain that? Maybe they just don't include it so they don't have to explain it, right?
Just do it like they did with the Crystal Tower. Yes, Phlegathon, not Acheron.
God. Yeah.
For those who don't know, Phlegathon used to be called Acheron in A Realm Reborn.
Acheron.
And then they're like, wait, we want to use that as a name elsewhere. So they literally wrote the quest. So now he goes like, yes, Phlegathon, not Acheron.
Well, it's like we used to. There's the Summoner quest. Like, oh look, it's a Bellius Eggy. Oh, that's a cool little nod. And then like Return to Evilise comes out, and we're like,
I lost audio for some reason.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Todd just needs a few minutes, a moment to fix his audio. I blame Windows.
thing.
Oh yeah, Discord, Windows. Yeah, it
They're in
depends.
cahoots.
Yeah, my
there you go.
monitors sometimes steal my audio source. I gotta turn them off.
I have nothing else open. But yeah, I was gonna say if it's like Otter-Gon, it might be awkward because I remember doing a lot of Mamul Jah XP parties and just killing thousands and thousands of them.
Oh, wow.
To be fair, it wouldn't be the first time we've done it in 14 either. We did leave one to be stabbed repeatedly by an angry mob of Tonberries.
Yeah.
So, who we, funnily enough, do learn about in Dawn Trail. We do, when there's like, we sent that one off to the mainland, right? Whatever happened to him? He just never returned. You're like,
Oh yeah, I remember
They
that guy.
got killed.
I know that guy. He's dead.
Oh.
To be fair, it's pretty dumb to pick a Tonberry's home to be your home in the first place. Like, of all the places you could have picked for a home base, Tonberries, like, you might have a size difference, but they're Tonberries.
What if we get Sozu Rogueberry
No.
as a boss or a side boss?
I think looking at the like in between boss polls, right? I think they would be. It would be surprising if they didn't include like the Quadav, the Orcs, and the Yagudo.
Yeah.
Maybe we get the named leaders or something that would make sense. If we do a snippet of the raid that's Zarkabard, they could just be like, oh yeah, Crystal War-ish type stuff. Here's all the different baddies. They would get big bonus points with me if they included the trolls in that because we have that model in 14 now. Trolls were always a part of that. We have artwork that proves it when Wings of the Goddess came out. But they never actually put those models in Zarkabard for anything. So that would be a cool little nod that they could do.
Yeah, maybe like the Beastmen, like head bad guys or something. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the big thing with the Shadow Lord. He's the leader of the Beastman army. Now, 11's not as forward thinking as 14's World Art. They never tried to make peace. They almost kind of do with one particular storyline. It's more like a temporary alliance than anything else. Whereas we've now they've had to rename it because they're like, wait, we get along with these guys now. We can't just keep calling them beasts. That's messed up.
Right.
Let's come up with a better name for that. No, in 11, it's pretty much eternally the Beastmen are bad.
Yeah.
Yep. Like at least they're perceived as such. And the Shadow Lord's entire thing is bringing them all together and being like, all right, gonna fuck their shit up. These enlightened races, we hate these guys. Bit more complicated, given who Shadow Lord actually is. But that's for another time because we don't even know how much of that origin story we're really going to dive into with the Shadow Lord.
I would be surprised if they included it. It'd be cool, but they don't need to. I think for the if we only have 3 raid tiers on whatever story they want to tell, I don't think that needs to come up necessarily. But who knows?
You think Olmia will show up?
I think she'll be dead, and Prish will be telling us that she's dead.
Wow.
I think almost everyone
all the bards,
Prish
all
knows
the bards
is going to be
shed
dead.
a single tear.
I think a lot of people remember the ending of like Change of the Promethea, like the music and everything. I remember getting pretty emotional for that one. It would be kind of cool if they had something there for that.
Yeah. I think she's going to be dead. I think almost everyone that you know might be mentioned, but I think they're all going to be dead.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure this is another like Prish is the lone survivor, because if we're going through story Prish, she's immortal.
True.
She's immortal throughout almost all of 11's story until you finish Chains, and then she's mortal. But if they're going more the Abyssy Walk of Echoes route, this would be the still immortal version of her. And as such, it's really going to depend on how tragic they want to make Vana'diel's story. Because Vana'diel's entire world has a tragic story. Well, yeah, we have the source, and like we know about the ancients and everything they went through. Like we have all that background. 11's is just like everything that could possibly never work out just literally never works out. It's just there's literally no point where the citizens are like
Everything's great.
Yeah, it's great. We're at peace.
Yeah, no, no, that doesn't happen ever a single time. You might have some crack addict in a back alley trying to make you do end game content, but that's about it. Hey,
the only moment of respite you get in 11 is when somebody unlocks a summoner, the summoner job, and there's a rainbow in Lethane Plateau. That's it. That's the only time anyone gets like, oh, hey, rainbow, yay.
Yeah, and then you do a quest line where you find out Carbuncle wants to destroy the world too. So
it's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's called Waking the Beast, and it's a fucking squirrel. All right,
that was fun, man. I mean, Summoner at 11 was fun. Like the tuning forks, you had to like do the battles to get your avatars. That was something else.
You find out all the avatars are dickheads. Every single one of them.
They are.
Even Carbuncle. Carbuncle gets a fucking 18-person battle. Most of them don't even get that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that on content. The loot was terrible. I don't know what they were thinking. It was a terrible experience. Especially Fenrir is among the assholes. He's not the especially asshole. I don't think he's the especially asshole. He's an asshole, but he's not the especially asshole. I think Diablos and Bahamut are the especially assholes. Phoenix is the only one who's not an asshole.
Yeah.
And I think the terrestrial avatars are all like life-ending. Like they had to be like put away because they literally only exist to like undo. No, it's the celestial avatars trying to undo the terrestrials. That's what it is. Garuda, Titan, all them. They hate like Fenrir and Carbuncle and all that shit.
They know what they did.
They know what they did. Yeah. There's a whole lot to unpack. It's funny because 14 has a lot more locational lore than 11 does. So like 11's zones and everything, there's usually not a whole lot to say about like, oh, that hill is this or this. There's like a few tiny landmarks like, oh, this quest is done here and like this is the crag, which is part of this. But whereas 14 is like, these steps are named this because of this, and this cape is named this because of this. So it's all basically just done through dialogue. Like entirely from like NPCs telling you like, yeah, the world is just like this. And that's the end, and that's it. So like all this stuff is stuff most 11 players don't even pay attention to.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is, with 14, we've got 3 lore books now. We've got a whole bunch of art books. Anything published for 11 is in Japanese. So even if they did release something with some little bits of information, damned if we know about it.
Yeah. God, they do not make it easy to try to like keep up with it. I can't even find 11 soundtracks on anything but like Apple.
There was an entire series of light novels for 11 written in world for Japan audiences. Like it's insane.
if you think that the JP team doesn't listen to NA, I want to take you back 20 years. All right, when they really didn't listen to NA. When they didn't listen, care, or think about you in the first place. Just like, oh yeah, the peasants. Right. Got it. Hey, thanks for playing. Yeah.
Even in game.
Servers are in Japan only too. Enjoy that.
Even in game, man. I remember the parties. It was like JP only.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just straight up saying no.
It was a really wild time. You know, I remember when we finally started to get a little bit more, I wouldn't even say transparency from Square Enix. It was just when information was easier to distribute and get around. You know, they had their fan fest in Japan, and then they came over and had their NA one, and they're like, check out all this cool stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but like, this is just all the stuff you talked about in Japan. We know now. Like, what? Give us something new.
I remember the video, them showcasing Scholar as one of the things. Yeah, it was weird. Didn't they go to like a fake like empty river knee from like COP and just like AoE a bunch of mobs with like with one
they
of the
were
book skills?
I forget where they were for that. We actually have, if you go over to Gamerscape's channel, I actually have some video footage of that fan fest taken on like a really crappy digital camera. If you want to watch like 480p. It was like they showed Scholar AoE and Gravity.
Yeah.
That was also the same event where they announced windowed mode.
Oh,
Which is when you were allowed to start tabbing out of the game legally.
Oh, that was they made their own windowed mode and it sucked. So nobody used it.
Not as good.
It was bad. The colors were all out of whack.
I'm colorblind. You think I'm gonna fucking notice that?
Well, you're the exception.
It's fine. Would you rather have weird colors or tab?
I'll just keep using the third-party thing I was using all this time. That has worked fine.
I think they were. I think they were using it too anyway.
It was that unwritten rule. Just don't talk about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
All the plugins that you had in 11. Nice.
Yeah.
The game is really weird about that now. The plugins are bots, basically all bots now. Gear swapping. So you have
the gear swap.
Well, the big thing is that nowadays gear swapping has to be done so fast, it's almost impossible to do natively on the client.
I remember having to edit an XML file for my gear swap.
Luas are the big thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it would do things automatically for. I'd hit an action, it would swap things. Like I wouldn't have to hit a macro at all. It would just.
I played on the PlayStation. We didn't have that.
Oh.
Well, now they have like you can save like whole gear sets and stuff too. It's crazy. You know, Matsui came off of 2.0 and he's like, I'm gonna include all this really great stuff that I learned from 14.
There might be people in chat that don't know what the heck we're even talking about, but like you would have to have gear sets for pretty much every action that you would do in the game, your abilities and stuff. So let's say like I played Thief, right? So some of my abilities would be like based off of dexterity. So I'd have a gear set that would pad a bunch of dex stats and crit or whatever, and then I would swap after executing an action or a weapon skill, and I would have a TP building set or an evasion set or something that has boost agility or charisma or strength or whatever it is. But your character, while you're actually playing the game, would be blinking in and out of existence because you're always swapping gear.
Which, by the way, if someone was trying to target you to heal you and you did that at that exact moment, they would lose their target on you and not be able to heal you. To this day, even with everyone using add-ons nowadays that eliminates the blinking, people still don't single target heal very often. They still just like drop big AoE heals.
But it wasn't quite like GCDs like you have in modern MMOs. It was just auto attack and then build resources and then use like weapon or something.
You used to build up a TP gauge, and then that's how you would weapon skill. Everything else was just auto attack.
Skill chain, magic burst.
Think of it more like if you were playing, like, let's say if you were playing like an ATB Final, like say you were playing the original Final Fantasy VII, and every time you got to the action menu and did a skill, you had to change your gear. Think of it more like that. Like you're going
on Black
through the
Mage,
menu,
you wanted to cast fire or ice, you had to swap out your elemental staff and
your elemental. That's right.
Todd, you said a keyword. You said a keyword for me, which kind of brings me back to a little bit of dumbness. Skill chains.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Your rank.
Yeah, like chart. Me learning skill chains for the first. Like I had to get it explained. So wait, I have to wait for you to do a skill and then time the skill.
Sly, that's
it to
easy
actually
start.
go.
That's
I'm
it
gonna
is.
say something wild to compare it to 14. You ready for this? You remember
Okay.
Battle Regimen?
He's not gonna know bad. That's a 1.0 thing. He's not gonna fucking know battle
He
regimens.
like
Also,
Happy's talked about
terrible
battle regiment
comparison.
before. He's talked about it before.
Yeah, I have,
Yeah.
because what we used to do, we used to
Yeah.
one-shot bosses with it for when it first came out because it was so ridiculously
Once people
overtuned.
understood how it worked, then
Yeah.
they took it out.
Yeah, I like explaining how skill chains work to everyone. It basically all of your weapon skills would have some sort of elemental affinity, and they they would chain off of each other, and based off the elemental properties, like it'd be like I can't remember, but it'd be like water and lightning would be like impaction, or maybe not. That's probably an earth one, but anyway, reverberation. Yeah, reverberation. I think that was like water and something else, but
Water and
it would trigger.
wind, I think.
Yeah,
No,
water
and
and wind. It would trigger, depending on the combo of elements, a skill chain, and then that skill chain could be magic burst, or so you could have a mage cast a spell of that same element and do even more damage.
Bro, you just explained all that. My favorite comment is people can't even hit div on time, man. Don't ask them to do
No,
that
they
before,
can't. They can't. But you would have macros. It's like skill chain incoming. Do this thing now. Or remember the ancient magic,
funny.
the ancient magic ones. A black mage would have to start casting like tornado, like 20 seconds ahead of the skill chain because you're just sitting there waiting to cast.
That's how Zaris taught me. He like, okay, here's the macro to let you know when to pop your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's how I learned skill chain.
Weapon skill use.
Yeah.
To this day, I still think it's one of the most confusing fucking things because I had a big old list of here's what we can skill chain off of. Here's what you're gonna do.
Well, you have to have your binder, your Final Fantasy 11 binder, and your skill chain chart.
No, dude, you just found out what the only one or two that were worth doing were, and you just remember those. You just, nobody
that was basically it.
Nobody.
When we were farming, we had one we would do.
Element like one in like 40 people knew what the actual.
Then there was the light skill chain. People had to use quite a bit, right?
Yep.
Distortion is the big one at the early levels. Yep, and then darkness and light are later.
Yep. If you played Samurai, you knew exactly which weapon skill to hit and when in a party.
Yeah. You know what's funny? One of Samurai's best weapon skill combinations, up until, I don't know if it's still the case now, but it was Jinpu 6 times in a row. It just had the right properties to chain off itself.
Yeah,
6
I remember
times
that.
In a row. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing that a lot after I got the oh man, I forget the name of it. It's the multi-hit.
Yeah.
Great katana that you could get up and like revern.
So Soboro Tsukihiro. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. I like that you just know that. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking triple bomb bullshit. Nope. I know. I've been there. I've killed my Dobson flies before and AoE'd them down with Summoner and
different times.
One weapon skill, the Tenzin. It was like this red moon thing.
Gecko is the Gecko.
Gecko
Oh,
is the
no.
moon.
Unless you mean
No.
Tenzin's exclusive.
There's one that came later.
It was an exclusive one. Yeah.
Tenzin's is exclusive to him. It's got a whole. It doesn't follow the whole like blade name. It's got some really fucking long name.
Yeah, I forget. Cosmic Elucidation. Yeah, I remember.
Cosmic Elucidation's the skill chain he makes. I think.
Yeah, the skill chain. That's what I meant. Yeah, the skill chain. Right. I remember swapping the DAT for my light skill chain.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny. Yeah. There is above a light and dark now. There's Radiance and one other one. But it's exclusive to the relics from Rhapsodies, I believe. Like you have to have those weapons to have the property. The weapon skill property is only present on those weapon skills. I don't remember what the name of the skill is, but Cosmic Elucidation is the actual skill chain.
Yeah, that's what
I remember. Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah. Ugh. My brain's starting to hurt. That's the thing. It's like I know this show sounds like we miss it. I promise you, most of us don't actually miss doing it.
No.
I miss big group content where you can just get in and do a bunch of stuff and goof off and still achieve something. That's what I miss.
I mean, it's kind of like just thinking about playing WoW back in the day too, when you just had like everyone hanging out on Ventrilo and like it was just this big group thing. But now, if you play it, it's like you feel kind of very alone. And people are a bit more
Classic
toxic.
WoW and Season of Discovery have reminded people it is not 2004 anymore.
That too, exactly right. So that's kind of the same thing you'll experience with 11. It's like, well, we had a lot more people online then, and again, hanging out on Ventrilo, but like you're just never going to recapture that because it's all solo for playing with trust. Like I can't bring myself to actually play 11, but it is intriguing just hearing you guys talk about some of the was it Walk of Echoes, or saying that was pretty good that maybe I should do, or
Okay,
maybe
so
I'll
here's
just
the
watch a
thing.
video.
Wings' story is pretty good. The way you have to go through it is really fucking terrible.
Okay.
It's like you have to align with a city state in the past. You have to do that city state's quests. Then you can do the Wings of the Goddess quests until a certain point. Then you need to go back to your city state's quests, do those again. And you can't like do all the city state quests at once and then do all the Wings because they're gated behind each other as well. And then on top of that, if you want to do all 3 different city states, it's just like the base game where you have to do them all separately. And so
do you have to have reputation levels? Do you have to trade any Millicorn at all?
you need a
There
minimum
are
rank.
you get like ranks. There's ranks, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not you
Your
just
fame.
you just need like the basic bitch rank. I don't think you need like a high rank to do any of that. It's not like Seekers, you actually need to spend like you're not even allowed to do the story the day you get there. You have to spend like 5 days doing dailies before you're allowed to start the Seeker story. Something like that. It's something. Like it's good. Oh, and there's a lot of so they took out most of the wait till the next game day waits in the game. Except in Wings of the Goddess, where they became full real life waits are now game day waits. It used to be like come back tomorrow in real time. Like when daily reset happens, that's when you're allowed to do the quest.
Honestly,
again.
if I had just infinite time, one of the things I would love to do, because all of the story of Final Fantasy XI takes place within the same year. So I would love to go through and map out all of those wait one in-game day, wait week, whatever, and just map it out and just see how long actually the story has taken place in that year. I think it would be fascinating.
That's
like,
one
know,
of
now
all-
that-
11, like for all the expansions, like in a
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's
1 year.
it operates. So it's funny because 11 lives in the 1
crazy.
year. 14 operates under the assumption it's been less than a year because we don't actually know for certain. We're in the 1 year expanding time bubble theory for 14 because we only have. I know there's one wait that we know in Heavensward, and that's 1 month between the end of A Realm Reborn and Heavensward beginning. 1 month passes. And then I think there's also a month or two in Stormblood when you're traveling across the ocean.
Yeah.
Those are the only
Yeah, the
ones I
boat
think we
trip is
know
long.
for certain exist in terms of time jumps.
Yeah, but I mean, but the Vanadil one's confirmed because we start in 884, and then when Aroha shows up, we know she's 14, and she gives the date, and it's 14 years later, so like we know that lines up. So
Yeah.
regardless of what the in-game clock says.
Yeah. I mean, that's like
Speaking of the
seasonal events in
Go ahead.
14. They, like a year isn't taking like they say, oh, this year's event. They're not like the event existing is canon, but the year-to-year event is not based on the in-game calendar at all. Yeah.
Yeah, going back to the in-game waits, like I remember first when I first like logged into 11, and now that you kind of now that we're kind of talking about it, it makes me go back to the whole message of, hey, we know this is a game, but like they have this message literally, you should
it's
probably
coming.
take care of your real life stuff,
forget about
don't
your-
play
yeah,
too
your
much.
family,
And I'm like,
friends.
oh, now
So-
I get it. Now I see why they have these
No.
in-game waits.
No. So here's the thing, Sly. That's not why. The reason that message has been in the game since the day Final Fantasy XI came out. It was actually
Right.
highlighted in the Yahoo article about Pandemonium Warden because they
'Cause
say,
I highlighted it in my article.
yeah, they say don't play the game too much, but then also here's this 20-hour boss. So it's like, what the? So they were like, there's some mixed messaging I'm getting
Well,
here.
it not only did this group fight this boss for 20 hours, but at what would essentially be like a media tour, it was like a premiere site summit. They basically confirmed, oh yeah, no, Absolute Virtue was designed to take probably about 18 hours or less if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Goodness.
There's a reason the Pandemonium Warden spawn point is so close to the entrance in that area, so people could go back to town and switch jobs if they needed to.
Yeah.
So Sly, you probably never had the 2-hour abilities, did you?
Yeah, when you started playing,
They
they were
were at-
an hour.
Yeah.
And you have
now,
2 of them
at the
now.
very least.
Oh, you have 2 of them now?
You have 2 1-hour abilities, and if you master your job, which is getting it to level 99 and then earning 2,100 job points, you can lower it to 45 minutes.
Okay.
And after you get the 2,100 job points, now you can earn master levels, which then raise your subcap job limit and give you stats as well. So there's basically, I think it takes like 4 months of botting to get to max level at this point. And I did say botting because that's all everyone does is they just bot the levels because,
damn.
yeah. I had a friend who
Sounds like fun.
I had a friend who made $60,000 a year in Modern 11 just selling EXP with a bot.
It's ridiculous.
This was like 2 or 3 years ago, but they told me that. I was like, "Hey man, yeah, you still play?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just do it for a side hustle."
Summon Wyvern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Summon Wyvern hasn't been the 2 hour in a long time.
No, it hasn't. They changed that. Yeah.
It's like 2006 they changed that, or 2007, but
Realized it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, "Wait, you mean my entire job's power level is locked behind an ability I can only use 2 hours every 2 hours? We should maybe change that to
Little
I don't know,
problematic.
15 minutes."
Yep.
Game's wild. And we could indeed talk about our
some fun
boomer
stuff.
history, but I'm really interested
I
to
was
see.
kind of hoping that
Yeah.
maybe with 14 we'd stop at 99, but here we are at 100.
Okay, to be fair, 11 never understood really when to stop because you stopped at 99 and then they added item level and then item level went up to 119, but then they stopped adding item level, but they made items that were stronger than other item level 119. So the item level became redundant and then they added master levels, which now allow you to basically go up to like 149, even though it's technically level 99 plus 50 master levels. So they never fucking figured it out.
I like the merit points and stuff though, like just enhancing your
Merit
job.
points are a currency now. You spend them to like buy items and like to buy like key items and shit. Yeah.
No way. Okay, jeez.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean,
they're
you
not doing anything else.
You still use them for the other shit, but you're done in like an hour. You get all your merit points in like an hour now. So
No way. Oh my goodness.
the
I
most
remember getting like 1 merit point an hour back
yeah.
in the day.
I remember it too.
The most expensive merit point expenditure is increasing the maximum number of merit points that you can hold.
Oh.
Like, which you need to so you can farm more at once to buy more key items at once, or not need to farm. Yeah, it's 11's very much the same but different. No.
You think 14 will like have a stopping point for like level or maybe
We're
a
either
stat
we're either
squish
squishing next expansion or they're coming up with some like no matter what happens, I always tell people you're still going to start the expansion story at the power level that they want you to, and you're going to end the story at the power level they want you to. You're not going to be like, "Oh yeah, I finished the story, time to go grind out this, A, B, C, and D." It's like, no, they pride themselves too much in everyone being on the same level, other than your like item level and max level. So don't expect merit point grinds. Every time somebody suggests it, don't try to come up with a justification.
Or how about a free subscription to 11?
I think they said recently there's actually like a logistic problem with that.
Oh, right. I remember that was a question that you brought up.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they've also done it before, so I don't
Yeah.
know what they're talking about.
could be new legislature. They said it had something to do with like the regions 11's available in and like combining subscriptions being a problem with like law, probably in Europe and a few places, I'd imagine.
But
So
they literally did it before, so I don't.
yeah, but it's also
know.
been 10 years since they did
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
as we know, laws change, as we learned in, what is it,
true.
Iowa, you said?
Illinois. Yeah.
Illinois, yeah, there you go. In
My home
Illinois.
state.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. If they wanted to do it, they could do it. They'd figure it out.
Yeah.
The problem is they don't want to figure it out, so they're not doing it. It's simple as that.
I don't think it actually I think it's only cool for the people who want to try it, but I don't think it actually makes any money is the problem. No. Like you're essentially just giving the people who are already paying access to a second game, and the people who are playing 11 who might be paying 2 subscriptions at once right now will no longer be paying 2 subscriptions.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a big income thing, and I feel like people will do it for a month and then stop.
Yeah, I think that's part. I think the cost justification is, if I had to guess, is really.
Yeah.
I don't know what the cost. Those servers probably run on fucking dimes rolling in the.
Well, they just upgraded their server stuff, didn't they? Or was that something they were doing like in the next year or something? They were gonna.
Yeah. They said they were
lower the costs and do that. Yeah. So
they essentially
the
want the
11
cost to be nothing, so that they can keep it up perpetually, and it's just like square. Like it's just like, oh, the cost is nothing.
it's
whatever.
there. Yeah.
Well, they keep 11 around because I think the 11 servers is what powers the friends list 14.
It's gonna really upset people to know 11 has a better glam system than 14 too. It does, without modding the game, like it genuinely has. It's it's better. The Mog House too. I know a lot of people. I don't care about the Mog House. I hate that fucking thing.
Love the Mog House.
It's like having an apartment that just the Moogle doesn't stop fucking spinning.
He's just excited to be there.
No, he needs to
deliver
he needs
your
to calm
auction
the
house,
fuck down.
Well,
earnings.
if you had PC, you could change who that was. You know, didn't have to
Okay,
be
I mean
the
what's
mod.
built into the game, Todd.
Okay, I know. All right.
Yeah, no, I don't miss it. Every time I play 11, I'm like, this is kind of fun to just grind some shit, and then I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want
For times.
different times. I actually, honestly, thinking back, I never thought the game was that hard or really required much of the patience. It was just a chat room that I did content in. People like to talk about how hard 11 was. I was like, bro, 11 was so fucking easy. It's just big numbers against
waiting.
big numbers. Yeah, so much waiting. My patience was
waiting
the
and
thing I
chatting.
tried.
Yeah,
like-
it's just a hangout.
I hate when people are like,
on
oh,
control.
you say it wasn't hard. What about absolute virtue? And I'm just like,
There's a difference between hard and fucking
You
impossible.
just threw bodies. I mean, well, there were some like, I guess, timed. Well, I really like Limbus.
I mean, they
Limbus
released the
is
most
fun.
bullshit video of all time trying to be like, oh, yeah, this is how you're supposed to
you want to
beat
know
it.
how to defeat it? Fade to black. Done. Easy.
Zoom into chat, check the day and the magic they're using. And then you do all that and you're like, okay, but he still insta-killed me with Meteor. And there's so much latency that you actually almost can't do the mechanic correctly. So as soon as he gets bracelets, you're fucking dead. Because then he can just cast Meteor whenever he wants. It's like,
I mean, that, honestly, part of, talking about, it's just like content in the chat room. I mean, that's when Eureka first came out. Obviously, there's some things in there that people weren't crazy about, but getting able to just jump it in there and just getting in an NM train with people and just like bear puns, like that was awesome. I loved that. Like I love that element of field ops. So, I think that's what I miss the most about 11 is just getting a big group and just going into something, just smacking some stuff and feel like you're progressing in some way.
Yeah,
I
that's why I
guess.
like the Limbus or like Limbus, Dynamis, like those events. It's a lot of fun for me.
you needed a
Yeah,
fun.
Limbus was great.
That's why I don't miss it. I don't miss needing a calendar to play my game.
Sure.
It's like, oh, Mondays and Thursdays are Dynamis days. Tuesdays and Fridays are
Right.
Limbus days. Wednesday and
Right.
Saturdays are Einherjar days. And then this boss spawns here, so we're gonna wait there for 3 hours potentially. And then this spawn point moves back too far.
I'm
You've
glad
never
I
played-
never
you've never
experienced
camped-
any of this shit. I'm
You've
so
never
glad.
camped an H&M and 11
Yeah,
if you didn't
camp-
have a sleeping channel on your Ventrilo that
Yep.
people had funneled through their
Camping.
speakers so that they
So-
could sleep while you're trying to farm an
Camping.
NM.
You want to know what?
It's some of these things. It would take 2 weeks for something to spawn. Like their spawn one would be so ridiculous.
And then someone else would claim it, of course.
Someone would
Yep.
bot claim it. Yeah.
Yep.
And what was funny, I remember because I played on PS2, I didn't sit in event channel to like get woken up. I turned my TV to max volume and said, "Okay, just do call like the drums, the raid drums, if you need to wake me." Whatever SE. What's the really popular sound effect in 14?
The arrow. Oh, bongos, danger bongos.
Yeah, bongos. There was a bongo.
Yeah, danger
equivalent.
bongos,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a danger bongo. There's a whistle. The whistle was the other big one to wake you up.
They're all really annoying.
I like the arrow, like bring.
Ring? Well, that one was like SE1. That was like a really non-intrusive one. But like SE3
Right.
is just literally just like somebody took like a fucking whistle like for like a coach and just blew it in, and I would turn that shit
Right.
up to max.
Yes, I do
Yeah.
remember that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And then it'd be 4 a.m. and I'd be like, all right, time to fight Cerberus. Let's go. I got school at 7:30. We got 3.5 hours. It's more than there's 7 of us online. No problem. All right. I want it for the record. My GPA in high school during all this was 3.93 out of 4. I wasn't an honor student. So I didn't lose school. I didn't mess up my school. Final Fantasy 11 was just that easy. It just took a lot of time. You just did homework while you were waiting for everything to happen. All right?
This is also true.
Final Fantasy 11 was good for your education because you didn't need to pay attention.
11 H&Ms were great. If you pop Kieran and Sky, you kite it around for a couple hours, go grab dinner in the middle while you're building TP on the side, and
He's not wrong. That's what we did. We literally just did life in between no lifing. The irony. Unless it was an NM, in which case you better know, it respawns every 12 minutes. Okay, the monster disappeared at exactly this time. I've got 11 minutes to do anything with my life. And then I got to
this guy's the placeholder. We got to keep an eye out. Make sure you turn off the what was the assistance thing so people couldn't steal claim on mobs. Remember that?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Well, my job was easy since I was a thief main. They're like, get you in the group, stab it once. All right, you're done.
You're done. Yeah.
You're done.
Yep, plenty of time to do school stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it's been about 2 hours. I want to give Fusion a little bit of time before he has to go do whatever he has to do in about half an hour, because I know you said you had a 2.5 hour time limit. So I feel like we mostly got to nerd out about 11. We got to do a little bit of prediction work, and I'm very and this time next month, we're predicting November 12th, given the Moogle Tome date. We'll have our answers. We'll have a better direction, and we can probably come back and do something similar to project where we're going in all of this.
Guess what's going to happen with the other Alliance raid?
I really hope they do the in-between story. I don't know why they only did the in-between quests with Nier. It was such a good idea with the Alliance raids.
I think it's a real safe bet that we're going to get some kind of staging point for this raid, so they could easily tell some story in that. For sure.
I would love that.
I want them to. I just don't know why they only fucking did it for Nier. Why did you fucking only do it for Nier? Do it for the raids that people like. Anyway.
Because they had a game come out that year and they need to promote it so that it'll sell copies.
Did they? Oh, right.
Replicant
came out that year.
Yeah. It was one giant sales pitch.
At the very least, you could have remastered Drakengard that year or something. Something relevant. I mean, Replicant is relevant. I mean, it's very relevant, actually, but it's all relevant. It's all canon, just like the Tekken appearance and the Fortnite and PUBG appearances of all these characters. Yeah. All canon, according to the big man himself. Anyway, that's going to be a wrap for this Final Fantasy XI nerding show, is what we'll call it. Thanks for coming on, both of you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And Sly for tolerating us.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, Sly.
It wasn't as bad as I thought.
Sorry you missed out on all the fun times.
No, he's not.
No, I'm good.
No, he's good.
No, he's chilling.
No, he's good. Yeah. No. What were you doing 10 years ago? 20 years ago, Sly? What was teenage Sly doing?
What was teenage Sly doing? 20 years ago was 2004, right?
Yep.
That is indeed minus 20 years from this year, yeah.
Yeah, I was sophomore in college. Yeah, I actually did have the PS2 modem, but not for 11. I got it for a game called Auto Modellista because there would be online races. I was like, this sounds fucking cool. So that's the reason I got the modem. It was a cell shaded Capcom game that you would race down mountain courses and shit. It was fun. Thinking back, it looks like crap, but it was fun.
I mean, to be fair, I got mine for SOCOM 2 originally.
When I first started podcasting, my microphone was a USB mic. My brother used to play SOCOM.
Yeah.
Nice.
SOCOM was the first online PlayStation. I remember. That's what I had the fat PS2 modem.
And then the hard drive came out, and you could get into special lobbies for Resident Evil Outbreak that loaded a little quicker.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Technology. All right. Well, thank you again for coming on. Why don't we do outros? We'll go in the reverse order. So Fusion, why don't you do your plugs, your end of the podcast plugs, as we do?
So what's up, everybody? I'm Fusion. You can find me on all the things as Raffledurg, RFLDRG. YouTube has an X at the end of it. I've got what did I put out this last week? Live letter reactions, as well as I did some unboxing from some stuff I picked up at PAX. So I've got a little glimpse of the Terral hoodie that just came out. Did some blind box openings and stuff from that. Otherwise, you can find me most Saturdays over at twitch.tv/gamerscape, where we do 8th Right Radio around noon Pacific. We've been talking a lot about 11 recently for obvious reasons, and I'm sure we will continue to talk about 11 for obvious reasons as we get closer to the patch, do the patch, and then speculate on what's after. So,
All right. Sounds good. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Todd?
Yeah, you can find me at Llama Todd or at Llama Todd TV, and I'm actually going to be working on a few videos regarding Hall of the Novice. I'm going to have some guides called Hall of the Raider, and it's actually that was the one of the things I asked Yoshi P at the media tour was, will you update Hall of Novice so we can continue teaching people? So it's really cool that they're actually doing something about that. But I was going to add some more guides of my own, because I think it's something that this game sorely needs, just teaching people some fundamentals. But yeah, you can find me in the evenings on Twitch usually. We're doing lots of raid content and helping parties. Still doing that.
Yeah.
Though I have been playing some WoW.
Yeah, I saw you on CurseForge, is what Discord's always telling me you're on.
Yeah. Yeah, CurseForge.
I know what that means, but messing with add-ons and everything.
That's right.
I've been there. I know that. All right, Sly, what you got going on? I know you're going to be away for the next couple days, so what's on the schedule?
Yep. Well, you can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox. You can find me on Twitter at Sly, aka Gray Fox. Yeah, again, the next few days I will be in Texas for OniCon.
Oh.
Once I get back, Metaphor. I mean, you know, you already know. Yeah, Metaphor until I get through that. And then after that, it's Spoopy Month, so I am doing almost playthrough of the Resident Evil series. And then other spoopy stuff. I know Silent Hill 2 remake.
Yeah, I was going to say,
do that.
ask you, Silent Hill 2.
Yeah,
I heard it was really good.
I'll be doing that. Yeah, really good. Might do some Alan Wake because I've never done Alan Wake.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
you should make room for Control in there too.
Yeah, my mod told me to do that.
Yeah, your mod is correct.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of spoopy stuff. And Metaphor.
Yeah, and Metaphor.
And Happy.
Mister, you're already here, so you know where to find me. I've got Metaphor this week. I've got all the base archetypes maxed out in the demo, so I'm well ahead. I'm ready to socialize. Everyone's like, isn't the game going to be really easier? I was like, no, the combat will be really easy. The socializing will now be more to my speed. I can use my days however the hell I want at this point. Romancing Saga 2 also comes out this month. That's another game I'm very excited for. I think that's October 24th.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, because the demo for that was promising, to say the least. As a Final Fantasy 2 hater, but a Saga, someone who's interested in checking out. Unfortunately, they also just named that they're shutting down the mobile game, which, to be fair, I was surprised it lasted as long as it did. I think Square's noticed their mobile games probably all don't need to operate, since almost all of them have been shut down at this point.
They just shut down Brave Exvius, I think, the month before. And
only one of the two Brave Exviuses, though. One of them is still around.
The older one. Yeah.
Wreck Your Keeper.
Wait, War of the Lions?
I hate that it's gone.
War of the Visions. I think War of the Visions is staying, and the original
War of the Visions is staying. It's the original
Visions
Brave
is still
Exvius.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, Sparking Zero came out this week. I want to do it, but just not going to happen with Metaphor. Early access is now, and it comes out same day as Metaphor. Not happening. Also, there's something else happening this month. Sly knows. All right. We've got Mario Party Jamboree this month as well. And if you follow my social media,
I'll be busy with Resident Evil, so y'all have fun.
No,
y'all have fun
get the Luigi hat, Sly, and get in here. Come on, Sly.
I'm good.
Yeah. If you haven't been on my socials, there's a lot more to this outfit than the hat. I promise you that.
Somebody lose a bet?
No,
he just did this. He just did this out of the kindness of his fucking heart.
I was like, it's October. I might as well like go all the way, right? No? In October?
For what?
I'm not doing anything spooky,
For
but
what?
I can get dressed up. Or with
I'd
the way
rather
that
you do
outfit
something
is,
spooky.
dressed down, to be fair.
I'd rather
Oh,
you
no.
do something spooky.
Dress down. Wait a minute.
Seeing me in like really tight overalls not spooky? Like thigh height overalls, Sly, is that not spooky to you?
What did he just like go over to Spirit Halloween and buy sexy plumber costumes for?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yes.
I actually couldn't. It was really hard to find all the individual parts that actually looked like.
Wow.
Because the
Slutty Mario.
No, because unfortunately,
Slutty
Slutty
Mario.
Mario just doesn't do the job that I want. Because I wanted it to be like I was wearing I was the small Mario, but I ate the mushroom, but my clothes didn't change. That's what I wanted it to look like. And it's like I feel like I got pretty close to that. I had to buy a kid's large, and it still kind of fits me. I was like, damn, kids are big now.
I don't know if I want to see you wear that.
Well, just go to social here. It's like it's on.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's all right.
It
I'm
already
good.
exists. It's already up. It's already a thing.
That link. That's all right.
Nah, I've
It's
seen
already a
blue.
thing. Too late. It is too late.
Yeah, there you go.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah, there you go. There, I put it in chat. It's perfect. There you go. Just gotta click that. Yeah, and then you just make sure you click the next part because the second part is the fun one. I might still modify it. I can make it smaller. I could cut it up a little bit so it looks like more that. But yeah, that's a kid's.
Are we gonna get a Mrhappy calendar for next year?
So funny
all
thing,
these outfits.
back in college, I did do a Christmas card of just me in like Santa underwear, just like doing this back in college.
Is it like George Costanza when he's
Yes,
on the couch?
that is exactly
Oh my
that is exactly what it is. It is the
Nice.
George Costanza. I did that in college, so
I love it.
not the worst idea to be fair. My God, I forgot about that. When he takes the pictures to get them developed. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Fucking Seinfeld. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I got going on. And then, we'll have 14 news or whatever popping up in between until the patch comes out in November. We're just chilling pretty much at the moment. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up and I'm going to get ready to go to the gym, speaking of which. So,
All right, man.
thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks again to the sponsors over on Patreon. And I did use your images for this, by the way, Todd. They're in the outro. So when we go over here,
sweet.
I just threw them all in a folder and just threw them in the outro. Since I haven't used that center screen in like the longest time. There you go.
Yeah.
There, so you gave me something to put there.
Gosh, yeah. That's. There it is.
There it is.
My character
Yeah.
with a subligar.
With a subligar. But anyway, I don't know if we'll be doing a show next week. It's going to depend on what there is to talk about. I'm sure there's a few things we can come up with. But if we do, it'll be on the regular day next week. I assume Slide next Friday, I assume would be fine. Yeah. If we're doing one. I mean, metaphor will be, I know, but like it's 2 hours, Sly. You'll be fine.
You have to pry him away.
I guess
It's a sacrifice for me too. I might not be done with it by then. Do you know how much I play, Sly? I might. It's only a maybe.
I know.
I'm level 30 right now, Sly, in the demo.
Oh, where is that? The carbuncle. That thing was bugged. It stayed there for like years.
That was in Romave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
I remember. Yeah.
There's
All right.
Trish.
But anyway, yeah, we'll see you next time. Now into a short
All right.
post show.
Bye. Thank you.
See you soon.